Everybody works on Big Sil's time. Always remember something. I am never late. You are. In the world that Big Sil's lives. Truth, justice, and the Big Sil's way. 26 days until we get to hear this. With the 32nd pick, the Philadelphia Eagles trade out of the first round, and they traded to the New England Patriots for 2 twos. Or better yet, with the 32nd pick, they picked the 2 nobodies from either North Dakota State, very East Coast, or the guy from William and Mary. Let me give you a little insight about William and Mary. You know why Lou Holtz left William and Mary? Xander, anyone? Do you know why he left? He says, there's too many Marys and not enough Williams. How you doing? Only Lou Holtz. I just tell you, I cannot tell you what to do. Just, there's too many Marys and there's too many Sues and there's not enough Williams. That's why I left William and Mary. Get what you one out of one. That's really okay. Here we go, Jerome. I've never seen you like it. You're 10-0, Lou. Put another program on probation. How you doing? That's a true story. Every program that Lou Holtz left, whether it was Arkansas, William and Mary, South Carolina, Minnesota, Notre Dame, every one of them went on probation. Gee, I wonder why. Wonder why those programs went on probation. Anyway, hope all had a very good night last night. Listen what we had. We had Major League Baseball opening day competing with the NCAA tournament. That's probably the only time baseball will beat another event. Okay, opening day, I think, will probably beat the NCAA tournament. By the way, had iconic numbers the first week, 9.4 million people watched that bitch. By the way, do me a favor, guys. All supers go to the top. Hit the like button. We got a special guest today, Ice Cube. He will be with us at 3:30. The legendary Ice Cube. You see him delivering the World Series trophy in L.A. yesterday. Had the top down, delivered the World Series trophy at Dodger Stadium. We're going to have the legendary Ice Cube talk some Big Three and some sports with our boy. That'll be at 3:30. Legendary Xander Krause at 4:30. Then we will have, with the world of sports right now and betting going on, the legendary Philly Godfather will join us. That will be at 5:30. It has to be one of the greatest battle raps of all time. No Vaseline. One of my favorites of all time, homie. We've known Ice Cube for 30 years. That's my boy, man. That'll be at 3:30. Sills, I actually saw Becton play when I was in high school. Dope, man. Think he went to Louisville, right? Was the first rounder for the Jets. Hit that like button. Appreciate you guys. All right. Yeah. Hey, man. March Madness versus Major League Baseball. Yeah, well, guess what? I think March Madness is going to win the weekend. They may not win the night, but they're going to win the weekend. All right. So Diane Rossini, very, very credible NFL reporter, is now throwing it out there that there's enough votes, and I'm hearing the same thing, to eliminate the Philadelphia Eagle tush push. All right. Guys, don't concern yourself. You want to know why? You want to know why you will not eliminate the tush push? You know why? Unless they ban the Eagle O-line. And they have to ban the Eagle O-line. It's not going to matter. It's just not going to matter. There's too many good players on that line, even at the right guard position. There's too many good players. It won't matter. Now, I think they're going to do this. I don't really think they're going to eliminate the tush push as a play in general. I think they're going to stop that shit from having players from behind pushing players forward or pulling players forward. I think they're going to stop that shit. I don't mind it. I don't really care. It's a football play. You can't stop it. That's on you, man. You got to come up with a way to stop that thing. Oh, yeah. It's the legendary Jalen Hurts squatting 600 pounds. Yeah, well, then how come Carson Wentz was 27 of 29 on the play, too? Was he squatting 600 pounds, too, M. Reyes? I mean, this guy's like, my quarterback squats 600, as Arnold Schwarzenegger would say, pounds. Carson Wentz was 27 of 29 on the play, Junior. That ain't the quarterback. It's the O-line. M. Reyes, that quarterback, he squats 600 pounds. You see the girly man. We don't have a girly man playing quarterback. We have a guy who squats 600 pounds. That's what we have in Philly. The legendary Legs. We're going to start calling him Jalen Legs Hurts. Where's my boy Pumper when you need him? Hit that like button. Appreciate all coming aboard. Great Friday to you. We have, of course, legendary guest and legendary topics like no one else. Hey, man, this week, you know I told Xander last week? We're going to start shaking it up a bit. Yesterday, Kurt Schilling, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Dungy, Ice Cube today. Come on now. How you doing? That's what we do here. Oh, no, Sills. What is Jalen going to do? Man, this changes a lot. Quote, Jeff McClain. Quite upsetting news. Quote, how you doing? Pump, are you saying the legendary Eagle Tush Push is out now because they're going to ban it? Oh, no. That is going to put such a damper even more so on the offense. How will they overcome this? You're taking one of the Eagle great plays away. The passing game sucks as it is. Now you're taking that play away? Oh, heavens. Oh, no. What happens now? And you've lost a shitload of people on defense. Oh, no. What happened? Holy cow. Yes. By the way, I have 10 players that potentially could be taken. We have now narrowed it down for the 32nd pick. Here's something that I want to point this out each and every single day as we get closer to the draft. How many positions? Are you hearing me, Big Z? Okay? How many positions do the Eagles have that are up for grabs? Yeah, that's right, Eagle fan. For 40 years, I've been carried by my guest. What a dick. I mean, how many positions do you think are open and going to have 3 or 4? This guy's high on cocaine. 3 are open. Oh, no. I hate to be the bad guy of Philly again, but here we go. Let's go into this. By the way, we'll talk a little bit more about that argument between Stephen A. and LeBron. I absolutely love it. Best positions that are going to be in the draft. Yeah, I think there's some pretty good positions. I really don't like the draft. Bruce says 11. Let's take a look at this. So let's ask that question again. How many positions will be open for competition this coming fall? Let's get M. Reyes in here. How many people Or how many positions will be open for competition in the fall? And really, quite frankly, how many positions are already set? Already set. You don't have to worry about it. Bob Brown says there's 2. Interesting. Well, let's take a look at that. Here's the topic again. How many and how much of the Eagles starting lineup is already set? Hit the like button. Kyle says 6. Let's take a look at that, Kyle. This going to be a little surprising to some here. Here we go. Let's take a look at this. Well, right off the top, right guard. Nobody's got a starting assignment there. 1. And you got, what's his name? Kayvon Thibodeau, Green, the kid you got from Houston, and you got Tyler Soft as Britches Steen battling this battle royale out for right guard. My opinion, you don't have the right guard. How you doing? Okay? And by the way, if we remember right, last year there were a lot of positions that were set. Right guard, 1. Tight end. Bye-bye, Dallas Goedert. Who's playing tight end? Paper mache Grant Calcaterra? There's 2. Tight ends, 2 positions on offense. Tight end and right guard are already up. Who's playing it? Goddard will not be here September. Out. He will never, ever, ever play another down unless it's with an opposing team in Philadelphia ever again. How you doing? There's 2. Left defensive end. That's not set in stone that Moro Jomo's won that job. He's the next guy penciled in. Tyler Steen was penciled in last spring also. He got beat out. That guy's not penciled in as a starter. He's going to get the opportunity. That don't mean he wins it. By the way, tell me I'm wrong. Has Moro Jomo won that job yet? No. 3. You're hoping he wins that job. How you doing? 3. Right inside linebacker. Is Nakobe back? Nakobe wins that job if he comes back. And I kind of put that in parentheses, so I'm not really going to count that. Okay? So wait a minute. Anthony, what am I wrong about so far? What am I wrong? Goddard won't be here. They're actively trading him now. Right guard is up for grabs. Left defensive end has not been won. It's his to take. Tyler Steen had the same opportunity a year ago, and he lost it. What are we lying about? Why are you sounding so excited on the Eagles' possible hole, Sills? If that's how you hear it, you're one of those big Sills haters. Big Big Sills is excited here, Rashid, because I'm talking to your dumbass. Wait, Goddard is on the team, and you don't count him, but Dean is injured, and you do? Bob, no. I'm asking you, Bob, do you think the right inside linebacker job is open? I think it is. I think it is. But everyone in here won't because that's one of the love childs, Nakobe Dean. Even though paper mache is always injured. You think hey, Bob, do you think right inside linebacker is an open gig? Looks like he's not going to start the season in September there. Do you think that thing's open? I like you too, Rashid. We're good, brother. We're good, man. We're good. But you sound real excited. Great. I don't know why you wouldn't be. It's America. I'm doing sports talk. I've got a great family. I'm talking to you. Why should I hate my life? I don't. I hope you're happy too, dog. Why wouldn't you be happy? I do the things I get to do in America, and I love my life, and I love being Dan Sileo. I'm good with it. I hope you are. I'm not picking on you, brother. Or as Hulk Hogan would say, brother. So wait, hey, Bob. Bob says, yes, it's open because we don't have anyone on the roster who started a game. So right guard, tight end, left defensive end, Nakobe Dean. There's 4. Wait a minute. Reyes. Wait a minute. Reyes. I've already got 4. There's 4 opens. What's going on here? You got 4 competitions coming up in the fall. I haven't even got to the rest of them yet. You got 4 position battles. What? Wait a minute. Here we go. Strong side linebacker. The battle of Bryce Huff. He's the lead dog in the cage right now. If there was a cage match, Bryce Huff's your leader. That strong side linebacker. 18 million worth of mean guy. How you doing? Wait a minute, Reyes. Are you telling me that that's not an open position that's not an open position? Right guard, tight end, left defensive end, right inside linebacker, and strong side linebacker are going to be position battles in camp. Unless you're comfortable putting Bryce Huff in there. How you doing? Say if I've said anything wrong. Bruce, you tell me. Wait a minute here. Tell me I'm wrong. These won't be position battles. Actually, that's a great comment by Pat. We want position battles. You do. Okay? You do. That's a great comment. They aren't battles. They're already guys that have experience. Like fucking who at right guard? Who at tight end once your boy gets out of there, Goddard? Calcaterra? You're hoping Moro Joma wins that job in camp. It solidifies himself. Steen couldn't. Kobe's not going to be there. Who's the guy going to play right inside linebacker in September? Trotter? I hope. Bryce Huff. And Reyes goes, he's battle-tested. It's a guy that got deactivated for the Super Bowl, and he was healthy, and he ran off the field like he was Taylor Swift running off a stage. I can't believe it. I'm healthy, and they deactivated me. Yeah. Holy shit. So wait, let me add them up here. Right guard. Tight end. I'm not saying you don't have people. I'm asking you if you think these are going to be open competitions in the fall. I do. Right guard, tight end, left end, right inside linebacker, and strong side linebacker with the greatness of Bryce Hove. Let's see here. There another one? Let's go to that depth chart. Let me go to the depth chart that Clint Hurt sent me. How you doing? I have the actual depth chart that's at the NovaCare Center. PDF file, baby. You don't have it. We do. Let's see here. What other position battles? Oh, how about strong safety? You guys think Tristan McCullum has won that job at strong safety? I don't. Hey, Bob, do you believe? I don't give a shit if you believe it or not, kid. Bob, Steen and Goddard have started. Ojomo and Hunt have played quality minutes. So they will begin as the starters. I get it. Steen did too. No, I don't. No, that's not what we're being told. You got to win these jobs you got to win these coming jobs in the fall, Bob. Just because you're on the freaking depth chart don't mean you're winning that job. That's Devin White. Thank God they didn't have Bob's mentality. Or guess what? Zach Bond would have never started this year. Just because you're penciled in with Vic and Stoutland don't mean you win the gig. That's what makes them great coaches. You may start the race, but you have to cross the finish line. Those guys had different players than they did in the spring than they did in the fall and September. Use your brains. Use your brains. Strong safety. Strong side safety. Strong safety. That's up for grabs. Right corner. Or left corner, because they'll move Q over. Let me change that. Left cornerback. So here's what we think you got going on for competition in the fall camp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 7 jobs up out of 22 starters off the world champion Philadelphia Eagle football team. 7 starters are going to battle for jobs. Here's the only things that are set. Let's take a look at them. Hurts, Barkley, AJ, Devontae. Shit, I'm not even sure about wide receiver 3. You could have 8. Mulata, Dickerson, Jurgens, Lane. There's 8 on offense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's on defense. 1, 2, I'm going to go Jordan Davis. 3, I'll give you Smith. 4, 5 with Q, 6 with Reed, and 7 at the nickel. So out of the counting the nickel, 23, you got 15 sure slots heading into training camp as of March 28th, which means you have 8 openings for battle in camp. Eight position battles. How many position battles did you have last year? Inside linebacker, edge, and guard. 3. I'll do you one better. Offensive coordinator. Kevin Patty is not a given. He's his best. He's best friends with Nick. He might be an extension of Sirianni. Oh, no. Wow, I forgot. Paul, way to add that in. Coordinator, too. Forgot that. Coordinator. So you got 8 position battles and a coordinator heading into the fall. All right. Okay. And signed a safety. So 6. You signed this. Get this guy. He thinks because he signed a guy over at Wawa that guy's a starting fucking safety for the Eagles September 8th. How you doing? Hey, we got this guy from Wawa. He can't make pizza because Wawa can't make pizza. But hey, he can start. Come on, Sales. Don't forget D.T. Milton, cornerback, Q, nickel, Cooper last year too. They were all position battles. You got more this year coming off the Super Bowl than you did a year ago. Hey, Bob, let's be serious here for a second. Bob, you think there's more position battles this year going into the fall camp than they did going into the 24 season? Do you? By the way, I'm not predicting anything. There's no predictions. What am I predicting? You're trying to. So Brandon is good with Bryce Huff, Jeremiah Trotter. Who else? Grant Calcaterra. Keenan Green or Keenan or what is that? Let's see here. Kenyon Green at guard. You watch that Matt Pryor beat him out. How many people think Matt Pryor's a starting right guard for the start of the season? I'll bet you anything that guy's a starting guard for the Philadelphia Eagles come September 8th. That guy Pryor is your starter. So what's your point? Okay, well, I'll tell you what the point is once again, dickhead. You got 8 positions that are open for battle, and you got 8 positions that aren't set yet going into training camp as of March 28th. I hope that clears it up for you, kid. Try following along. It's pretty easy if you just listen. Nothing wrong with position battles. I know. When you're the world champion, you're not supposed to have a shitload of turnover. The Eagles might be the biggest championship football team I've ever seen with the biggest turnover in roster. In the last 10 years, I've never seen more good players leave a defending champion team. Have you? Bob, name me a team that has lost 13 contributors to an NFL championship team. Can you? Can you? You lost 50% of your front 4. Name me a team that's done this. Look, the point is, nothing's a given on this roster right now except for 13 spots. My question to you was, how many set in stone positions do the Eagles have? Okay? Yo, Chad, his point is that this is the offseason and we're in the land of we don't know. There's nothing derogatory that he's saying. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me, Akbar? I could say, it's daytime. And they would go, Sills, it's midday. It's almost night. People love arguing with big Sills. Okay? Brandon, It's a great segment. I'm with you. There will be position battles in camp, and the best players out of the group will start. Will it be tough? Yes. And we'll see. Absolutely. So when you guys say you're a contender for the Super Bowl, how can you do that when you've got 9 position battles? You're basing it off of what? Your offense? You got a lot of positions that you got to have a lot of decisions being made on. Do you not? All I'm doing is pointing out the obvious. Open your eyes and your ears. It's not a bad place to be, especially with the way that you've drafted and the way that you're moving your money around. I've said this before to you, and I'll say it again. I don't think Philadelphia's doing anything wrong. I don't know why you're all butthurt. You got 8 positions that are not set in stone, where you're going to have decisions to be made by September. Let's do them again. Right guard? How many people think the right guard position? Here, let's do it together. How many people think the right guard position in Philadelphia is solidified? I know the right tackle position is. I know the left guard position is. I know the center position is. And I know that the left tackle and right tackle positions are solidified. How many people in here believe that the right guard position is solidified? How many? How many? Do you believe it? Who's starting? Or are you guessing? Okay. Not yet, Pat says. Okay, 1. To be determined in camp. That's my, here, to that one dude. That's my point. That's what the point of this is. Very good, Rico. Unfortunately, you got people that can't read or hear. Hey, Rico, since you're one of the only ones in here with common sense, you think the tight end position? How about this? Stoutland solidifies my trust at right guard. That's not the point, dude. That's not the point, douchebag. Jeff Stoutland's not the problem here. Who starts? It's an open battle. It's not an open battle on Jeff Stoutland. My God almighty. You guys are numbnuts. They're butthurt because you're rough around the edges. It's an important conversation to have. You're just not patting them on the back. I know I'm not. They're all crying and going, yeah, I know they're all. He's like the scene with Chris Farley, when Chris Farley gets hit in the head with a baseball, and he's doing the skit for Saturday Night Live. Where's the mustard? That's M. Reyes. Where's the mustard? Sills is making sure we don't redo 2023. Martin, Jeff Stoutland will pick the right guy at right guard. No shit. We've now confirmed with that stupid Jay Brown take that right guard's open for battle. And Jeff will pick the best guy. Okay. Got to go like this around, make them feel good and, tug on the coulions. Guys ready to rock. All right. How many people believe here on March 28th the tight end position will have competition at it? I do. They have publicly come out and said they're actively trading, looking for a trade partner for Dallas Goedert. Okay? They're actively looking for a trade partner. I'm not ignoring any talent. Why do you ignore the talent we re-signed at O-line? What talent did you re-sign at O-line? And once again, what does that have to do with the topic? Over here, Forrest. Over here, Forrest. Once again, For people who don't have a great IQ like M. Reyes, what positions on the Philadelphia Eagles are solidified and set as of March 28th is the topic. Okay? Simple. Matt Pryor. So, Mr. International, is Matt Pryor going to be in a position battle? Follow me, Mr. International. Will he be in a battle with Tyler Steen? Yes or no? Come the fall. Will that be position battle number 2? Yes or no? What facts, fuckhead? Jeff, Matt Pryor, Tyler Steen, the kid you got from Houston. Will there be a position battle in the fall? And will Jeff Stoutland pick it? Yes or no? Okay, no. Who's starting? Dummy, I mean Donnie. Try to go along with the exercise. You guys sound like my daughter wants to fight me and have an argument every fucking time. It's not what we're doing here. Okay. Tight end's going to be a position battle. Your left defensive end, you feel pretty comfortable with the amount of snaps because of Moro Joma. I do too, but he ain't won that bitch yet. Milton Williams didn't win it either. He had to go out there and prove it. You don't have a right inside linebacker. Dean's not back in September. Who's playing it? Okay. Bryce Huff is your leading candidate for strong side linebacker. 1, 2, 3. Shit, I got 5 position battles already. How you doing? Strong safety. That's a position battle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6. Damn. Right corner. Left corner. That's a position battle too. Who wins it? Keely Ringo? Who wins that thing? Let's see here. Hey, look. Is this a position battle between Keely Ringo, Adoree Jackson, Eli Ricks, Fidel Castro Fields? Is that a battle for the left corner? Fidel Castro, Eli Ricks. Who else here? Who we got here? Adoree Jackson. And some dude named Fidel Castro. Ringo set. Yeah, right. Keely Ringo set. 100 snaps last year. And they went to Isaiah Rodgers. Yeah, he said all right. This is what you guys got right now. You got 8 job opportunities for people to come in and win it. That's what you got right now. Okay? That's what you got right now. You got 8 position battles. It's only an exercise here, folks. Don't get butthurt. Here's Brandon. Right guard, tight end, running back 2. I was just looking at the starters. Cornerback 2 and 1. Well, also too, Brandon, your backup corner. I mean, who plays the swing tackle? There is a lot of work to do if you think about it. Brandon, that's a good take. Safety 2. Strong safety. Also, too, you can add in Isaiah Rodgers' position or in Burks' position and Fred Johnson's position. There's a lot of work to do. I'll tell you this. There's no question coming off a Super Bowl, the football team's got a lot of work to figure out the pieces. I'm not saying, by the way, what's one thing, Brandon, I did not bring up about your football team? I never once said you didn't have the talent on the team to do it. You notice that? I never said anywhere. And I agree, Eagle fan. I like A.J. Dillon, as long as he's healthy. I like him. Nowhere in this open did I say you didn't have the pieces. I said that you have competition at these positions heading into the fall camp. You have very few, well, I wouldn't say few, very few. What did I say, 13? 13 of your 22. Half your roster is set right now on March 28th. Okay? That's all the exercise was. And nothing I just said is not true. Nobody's penciled in as a starter here, except these guys. Here's your starters: Hurts, Barkley, Devontae, Jahan Dotson, Malata, Dickerson, Jurgens, Lane. Moro Jomo, okay. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Zach Bond, Quinyon Mitchell, Reed, and DeJean. The rest of them are all position battles that you'll figure out in OTAs, rookie camp, mini camp, and then in the fall training camp. Yes. And we came up with 8 job opportunities for people to win. Isn't it funny? You make a comment here. Jeff Stoutland will figure out the right guard position. Nobody's debating that. Nobody's debating it. Yeah, I agree. Clint Hurtt's going to figure out who the right front four are. No debating that, along with Vic. Nobody's debating that. The positions are open for them to interpret who's going to be the starter, though. You barely have any positions on that defense that are solidified as surefire starters, except, again, for the names I mentioned. For a Super Bowl champion team, that's a lot of turnover and a lot of job opportunities. Okay? Crying about what? I'm just saying that you think your roster's set. Your roster's far from set. You don't even know who your backups are yet. You're assuming who they are. You're using a pencil. A guy like this guy, Jay Brown, he's telling you what your roster is with a pencil, not with game tape. Same with M. Reyes. They're telling you with a pencil, not game tape. 8 positions will be up for grab this offseason. It's a good point. How many did you have a year ago? Let's take a look at that. How many positions? Bear with me here. Let's see here. 2024 Eagles starting lineup. You had 8 last year. Here we go. All right. You had a year ago right guard, 1. Defense. Edge, because you had Bryce Huff scheduled in there. Brandon Graham beat him out. Milton Williams beat out Moro Jomo. Both linebacker positions were up for grabs. Slay was set. Blankenship was set. Gardner Johnson was set. Mitchell was set. And Cooper DeJean, Avonte Maddox, I'll give that a battle. That's 6 a year ago. That's 6. The difference is this year, every one of those other players, Brandon Graham, 15 years. Josh Sweat, 9. All veteran guys. This year, no veteran guys. It's going to be quite a battle. I'm going to be looking forward to it. And I know many of you got butthurt over that exercise. Nobody said you didn't have players on your roster to get that done. Good news is you should get the best effort from everyone. They see the guys that beat them out and now rich as hell and then went on to win the Super Bowl. Absolutely, Drew. Drew, there's a culture in the building. Okay? Now let me here's one here from Charlie. No hurt, no worries. Okay? Not saying that. I'm just saying you got a lot of work to do for a Super Bowl champion team. Do you not? There's a lot of players that have left. I can't remember a team that won the Super Bowl where you exited more players. Can you tell me one? Name me one player, name me one team in the last 5 years that had all these exits and lost 5 starters on defense. Name me one. Kansas City, no. Rams, no. It's a lot of players. All right. It's not an exercise here where you should be butthurt. Okay? I know you guys like to argue with Big Sills, but unfortunately, you got 8 jobs that are up for grabs. Heading into OTAs, minicamp, and training camp. You have to figure out 8 positions. I would say this. How hard of a position is this going to be to fill, right guard? I think a lot. That guy, Matt Pryor, will probably win it if they give him the opportunity. You go back and watch Tyler Steen. He wasn't very good last year. He got hidden by Lane and Cam Jurgens. I mean, he was okay. He wasn't great at all. So you got to figure that position out for sure. That's it, without a doubt. We got Jeff Stoutland. I know. It's a battle for who starts. That's the comment. Not that you don't have the coaches to fill it. You have an open competition at right guard. Same with tight end. Somehow you have tied that in where you can't do it. And I said, you can't do it. Yeah. I mean, who said that? I never at all at any time brought that up. But that's what you thought you heard. Ice Cube will join us at 3:30. Hit the like button. I mean, get this. This guy thinks this having 8 competitions at positions is not that hard a thing. Okay. And your coordinator. Trevor Keegan, Mr. National. Why didn't he get enough playing time last year? How come he didn't play over Steen if he's so good? I like the kid. I do. I like the kid. Rico. Seals, that's why we brought in 6 linemen. Rico. And it's also why, oh, you mean like on the visits? On the visits, yeah. That's probably why. I actually like Keegan. I want to see him get more reps. I'd like to see what he can do. I'm with you. I'm a fan of the kid too there, Mr. International. I'm with you, man. Competition breeds confidence. Sure. Let me say something to you too, Pat. Pat, all seriousness. What's the greatest thing the Philadelphia Eagles have when you have competition on defense and you've got to replace that defense? What do you think is the most important thing that Philadelphia has and why you should be a little more at ease with filling these holes you have? What gives you a good metric for you to go, yeah, I know, Sales, we got 8 potential training camp battles. Vic, coaching. What? Keeping our DC. Coaching. Great coaching in Howie. Hungry dogs. I'll do one more. Bob, I'm surprised you haven't thrown it in. One more. All right. What's the fastest way to get a guy going that hasn't seen a lot of playing time? And if you got a young group, I'm going to line A.J. Brown and I'm going to line Devontae Smith right up on Keely Ringo the entire training camp. And I'm going to run routes around that kid until that kid can't see, and he's going to see me as a nightmare. Because there'll be nobody he plays against in the regular season better than them dudes. If I'm Moro Jomo, I'm lining him up, Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson. And I'm beating that kid's ass into the turf. You know why? You ain't going to play against 2 better tackles in pro football than them dudes. Their Sundays are going to be easier because of the training camp and then playing against each other. Simple. You got offensive skilled guys that are top of the shelf. You don't have very many top shelf defensive players. You got 2. And the other one could be really great. See him do it again. Okay? On offense, you got players almost at every position that are in the top 5 of every position set and group in the NFL. Receiver, tackles, guards, center, quarterback. Going against an inexperienced defense? Shit, man. That's the fastest way. Why do you think Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean were ready to rock this year? There's twofold. They played zone defense in college, and they went against the best players in the National Football League every week and in training camp. Fastest way to get guys and the defense going in the right direction is by having an exceptional offensive line. Yes, I do. I think they think these kids, Drew, are good enough athletes that they can fill those roles. They just don't know at what level. And that they have, I think these training camps these mini camps and these OTAs, I think they're going to be challenging for the defensive guys because the offensive guys are going to want to push them, and they're going to be told to push them. Here, guys, the offensive guys are going to weed out who starts and who doesn't in the offseason. They're going to weed them out. You don't think Jalen Carter's going to find out who the best right guard in Philly is? One guy's going to be put on his bonnet, and one guy's going to slow him down. Ain't going to stop him. And that's who Stoutland's going to go with. The key with the Eagles right now, you have so many gifted players at critical positions. Howie Roseman goes, I think we got talented kids here. Can they fill and fulfill the roles of the guys that we had here? I think you know what you do? You, unlike people that are in here wanting to pencil in starters, you know who determines the starters in Philadelphia? The offense. The offense does. Milton Williams won that job because why? Went against Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson every game or every practice. One-on-one drills. Team drills. One-on-one run. One-on-one pass probe. The other starters on that Eagle team are going to determine who your starting 11 are on defense. Not drawing a guy up on a depth chart or listening to M. Reyes' dumbass takes. The players on the field are going to determine that. Not even dumbass Sileo. Those guys on that offense will. Then the coaches will see it. The coaches will understand it. And they'll come up with a roster. But you do have 12 openings. That's quite a bit of jobs that are going to be up for grabs. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Ice Cube will join us at the bottom of the hour. The legend himself. The legendary Ice Cube will join us. That will be at 3:30. Looking forward to talking to my friend, man. I appreciate him always finding time for me. So that will be at the bottom of the hour there, too. I'm going to move on to another topic here in a second. Sills, would you say the 15 key starters returning are among the best at their positions? If yes, isn't those guys alone enough to keep us in contention? I don't think so. But I think those guys are going to bring your defense along quicker. And I think that's what happened a year ago to your defense. Dude, you got great competition in camp. You got solidified NFL Hall of Famers, Pro Bowlers. They're littered all over the roster. You're going to be able to find out if Keely Ringo can play. I'm going to line up A.J. Brown on him. And if he torches his ass in training camp and the coaches believe he can't do it, they'll make a move for corner. Okay? M. Reyes, you know I love you, bro. Hey, Anthony, I didn't bring this up, but you reminded me. You got great coaching. Why? Why do you think you got great coaching? Good afternoon, Sales. Do you believe why Roseman cut those players on defense because Jalen Carter elevated those other players on defense? To an extent. Along with Vic, yes. Why do you guys think you have great coaching? I think you got a group on defense. It's not only, hey, it's one thing to draw up plays like Sean Desai, Brian Johnson. It's another thing to find the right players and player develop, like Bobby King, Glenn Hurt, Vic Fangio, and plug guys in. The right guys in. Here, look what he did. I don't want Devin White. I want Oren Burks. Devin White wasn't even good enough to beat Oren Burks out, let alone Zach Bond. Do you understand how he brought that guy in and gave him some money? Not bad money. Vic went like this. That guy's not better than Oren Burks. I'm not playing him. He thinks a guy from Houston Christian is a better ball player. How many people in here believe that Vic Fangio thinks that Jalix Hunt is more productive than Bryce Huff on March 28th? How many people believe he thinks that? I do, 100%. Guy from Houston Christian played. The guy who just got an $18 million contract was deactivated for the Super Bowl. Proven track record? Well, Rico, why'd he give him 51 million then? Do you understand? There's a $51 million guy on your team that Vic went, I don't care. I don't care. I'll play the guy from Houston Christian. That's great coaching and player development. By the way, you know how does that also resonate? How do you think that also resonates? That means when I come, you know all these guys that they signed? Every one of those guys think they can win a job. Why? Because on defense, it's been proven, no matter where you're drafted, as long as Vic Fangio's the D coordinator, you could be a first rounder. Hey, did Moro Ajomo have more reps? Am I right to say this? Correct me if I'm wrong, Xander. Did Moro Ajomo have more reps than Jordan Davis last year? Did he have more reps than the 13th pick in the draft? That guy who was a 7th rounder, did he have more reps in 2024 than the 13th pick in the draft? I think he did. Why is that? Well, because Vic Fangio, okay, 388. What did Jordan play? The exact same based on football revenue. So one guy was a 7th round pick. Look at this. One guy was a 7th round pick and makes less than $1 million. And the other guy was a 13th pick. And that guy played the same amount of reps. You know what that tells you? Vic Fangio doesn't give a shit where you're drafted. Vic Fangio is going to play the best guys. That's actually a stunning number. If you're the organization, that you drafted a guy that high and a 7th round draft choice plays as much as he does. That's totally an indictment on that guy. There's one thing Jordan Davis is. You want to hear what Jordan Davis is? I guess I said it the other day and I'll say it again. You have to have a nose to play that defensive front. And I'm not suggesting it's a tough conversation. But here's the thing. Jordan Davis may be athletic as all hell. You know what he's not? He has no versatility to him whatsoever. He can't pass rush. He can't play a 3 technique. Shit, he can barely play a 2 technique. He has no versatility. He is a one-dimensional ball player moving forward. Moro Ajomo has more upside than Jordan Davis. Do you know that? He has more upside as a 7th round pick than Jordan Davis. Facts. Milton Williams proved he was. And he was a third-round pick. I mean, so Jordan hate will be all year from Sills. What am I hating on? The fact that he doesn't live up to where he was picked at the 13th pick and that he's not worth $13 million? Okay. I'm sure you're happy with him. And I'm sure the Eagles are. Do you think the Eagles think he's replaceable? Like, how about this? Who's more, who do you think, and how do you think the Eagles are thinking of him? Do you think the Eagles think he's replaceable? I'll tell you what, don't let them draft a first-round DT. He's out. He'll be out. And they won't pick that fifth-year option up. Jay Brown, I don't give a shit what you're saying. You think it's hate? It's hate. You think that somebody else plays more reps than him, is more value than him, has more versatility than him, is hate? That's what you think, kid. God bless you. My take is too personal? What's too personal? Drew? What am I saying? It's personal. He doesn't play enough. He can't play a 3 technique. They moved him to the easiest position in the field to play the nose because you're not asking him to do anything. He plays 25% of the plays, and he was the 13th pick. What's personal about that? I didn't call him a fucking loser. I didn't say he sucks as a man and he's a bad dad. That's personal. Saying he can't play a 3 technique, that's personal? What are you, LeBron James? Hell, if you think that's personal, you're not open to any kind of criticism when you're talking about professional athletes. You'll never hear me talk like that about somebody unless deserving. I don't talk about people's families. I don't talk about them personally. I have no idea what you're talking about. What hate on what hate? Drew, what am I hating on? Sills, not your take. The saying you're hating on Davis, you aren't you're okay, Drew. I got it, buddy. My bad. Yeah, Drew, I'm not hating on the kid. I'm telling you who the kid is. He's a ball player. I don't know. Hey, Drew, I don't know the guy. I got you, Drew. I don't know the guy from a can of paint. Okay? I don't. Davis can only play on the rundowns. Not a good pass rusher. He was a little bit streaky going into the playoffs. That's about it. Before we get to Ice Cube at the bottom of the hour, guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button here. Give me a total on the likes, too. By the way, I think I wrote 10 guys down that I think are going to be at the 32 spot. I actually wrote 11 down for the Eagles to think about. Let me ask you guys something. What has been a trait of Howie Roseman going into the drafts? 114? Blaine, thank you. Let's get that up, guys. Let's get that to about 150 before Cube gets on, please. I appreciate it. What has been a trait of Howie Roseman's in these 4 recent drafts? What's been a trait? Yes, Charlie, the moment you're drafted, they're trying to replace you. If you're not a Jalen Carter. Okay? Watch this. Heisman votes mean nothing. College rings mean nothing. Georgia Dogs more accomplished than Hurricanes teams ever. I must have missed all those Hall of Famers from Georgia in the Hall of Fame. I must have missed them dudes. I haven't seen a Georgia Bulldog go in the Hall of Fame since Terrell Davis. How many do they have in? I must have missed that in the last 15 years. Really? Facts? We got 5 titles since 1983. How many does Georgia have? I must have missed that. Numerous Hall of Famers. I must have missed that. Carter going to break that streak. Well, you'd have to, because Jerome would have went, Sapp, Kennedy. We got 3 in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in the last 7 years. How you doing? You got 7? Oh, we double that. We double that. At New Carter. Yes, sir. What's the one trait that Howie's been, you know what I say Howie starts to land in? You know he loves them Georgia boys, right? No shit, I just said Terrell Davis, dickbag. You haven't had a guy go to the Hall of Fame from Georgia since Terrell Davis. Come on, Forrest, work with me. Okay, Arthur, I'll talk slower for you. Terrell Davis went to Georgia. That's the last Bulldog to go in the Hall of Fame. Go, Arthur. Just here to help, Arthur. How you doing? All right. Do you not suggest here? How about Howie hanging out at the Ohio State sandbox for a little bit? What do you think? He lands in the Ohio State sandbox. Why? Got a championship culture at Ohio State. Mission accomplished. Go pleasure yourself now, boss. Congratulations to you. I'm glad you got noticed today. You and Mike Missinelli are 2 winners. How you doing? Isn't that great? Arthur's huge moment in his life today. Mission accomplished with Sills. He recognized me. That's a way to end the week, kid. I'm happy for you. Okay? I'm very happy for you, because I don't really recognize a lot of people. Congratulations to you, Arthur. Now you can go play with your blow-up doll and go, I can't believe Big Sills loves me. It's all good, kid. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. Hey, take that as a present from me to you and from us here at JAKIB. Congratulations. Hey, I'm happy for you. Must have thought this up all night. Congratulations to you. Hey, man, I love you too, bro. We're good. You know that. See, that's why I dig Arthur, man. I'm good with him. I totally am good with him. Let me see here, man. Arthur, though, I want to prove a point to you. Oh, by the way, I'll say this shit about Xander, too. Hall of Fame class. NFL. Take a look at this. Let's see here. Let's see. I don't think we had anybody. I don't think we had anybody this year. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I don't think we had anybody. Oh, Richard Seymour got in. He's a he's a yeah. He's a Georgia Bulldog, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Here we go. Hold on here. Let me take a look at this. I think we have 14 in the Hall of Fame, 13 or something like that in the Hall of Fame. All right, here, listen, let me get to these before Cube comes on. Shamar Stewart, edge, Texas A&M, down at 32. I think he could be there. Now, look, I heard Xander talking, and he and I were both, when you watch him on film, what's the one thing we say about him with him on film? He's not productive. But you see a ton of athleticism. Look at what Vic Fangio's done to Jalen Hunt. Do you think that Vic Fangio could get this guy to be productive the same way that he's got production out of Nolan Smith and also out of Jalen Hunt? Do you think he could get that production out of him? I do. And I'm not saying there's bad coaches at A&M, but look at what he's done with talented kids. He got production out of Nolan, Hunt. He couldn't really do much with, guess who? He couldn't really do much with Bryce Huff because that wasn't his take. But this kid showed tremendous athleticism at the combines. He's off the charts nuts. Would that be somebody they would look at 32? Possibly. This kid, Josh Connerly, Oregon. Is that not a great program? You bet it is. They win a lot. North of 12 games every year. They got a winning culture there. Make no mistake. Look at the people that they're talking to. All coming from winning programs, or what? You have to be off the charts athletic. Okay? Right? Here, Josh Simmons, Ohio State. National champs. Been to the postseason every year he's played at Ohio State. Same thing with Donovan Jackson, the center, or the guard, excuse me. Another Ohio State guy. They're high on this kid. Why? Played for the national title and won. Georgia, best coaches, best environment. How he's hanging out in these buildings that have great cultures like the culture in Philly. He's matching theirs up to his. I think this guy puts such a premium on players at big-time programs with big-time winning. I'm not talking about big-time programs like Nebraska who don't have a winning culture. I'm talking about Oregon, Bama, Georgia, LSU, Ohio State. When you hang out in that room, they're the most recruited kids in the country. What's another advantage? What do you think is another advantage of recruiting kids from Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State? What do you guys think is another advantage? These guys are already getting paid millions of dollars. Money's not going to make these guys go crazy. Shit, these guys have been millionaires all. You know Arch Manning right now. Now that could be a bad example, but you know the kid Cam Ward? He made $1.7 million last year. Just in salary alone. The majority of here's to Xander's boy. How about this? Do you know that Shedeur Sanders a year ago will make more money at Colorado than he'll make in his rookie contract wherever he gets drafted? That guy's not going to money's not going to make that guy go sideways. He's been making it for 3 years already, and he came from Dion's household. Money's not going to impress him. Money's not going to impress these kids. This isn't about money. These guys are all recruited from big-time programs. You know, a lot of people hate the nil. I think one of the things that you don't have to worry about, that you had to worry about in my time, kids getting bags of money and not understanding how to deal with it. Shit, these kids got financial advisors now in college as juniors. Shedeur Sanders. Here's this. Hey, Xander, what's that kid's name that played quarterback at Georgia last year who's down at Miami? The guy drives a Lamborghini. He drives a Lamborghini right now as the starting quarterback for the University of Miami. That's how much money. That's not Stetson Bennett. What's his name? Beck? The kid who just left Georgia and went down there, he drives a Lamborghini. These kids in college today, man. Carson Beck, thank you. That guy already makes $5.5 million a year as a starting quarterback for the University of Miami. Money's not going to impress these kids. That's not what this is here. Most of these guys made more money in college than what they'll make in their first year as an NFL quarterback. You know that? Here, let me say this to you. What was it last year? 7 or 8 of the starting quarterbacks in the Southeastern Conference made more money than Brock Purdy as a starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. 7. 7 starting quarterbacks in the Southeastern Conference made more money than Brock Purdy did a year ago. Shows you where college football is. Ice Cube's going to join us in a couple minutes. Really look forward to talking to our friend. I'm going to get his take, by the way, on the Stephen A. Smith bullshit that's going on. But he's got Big 3 coming up. We always talk to him. I know, Akbar, isn't that crazy on how college sports has changed? Ice Cube offered Caitlin Clark $5 million a year last year to join his 3-on-3 league. I mean, she made more money at Iowa than she made last year in the WNBA. Okay? I mean, so I love the fact that he's going to be looking at some of these Ohio State kids. Blaine, I missed one of your supers? Seals, you skipped one of my supers. I apologize if we did, Blaine. I do. We'll get it hooked up here in a minute. If we miss one of your supers, Xander and I'll we'll hit on that bad puppy. Don't forget, he'll join us at 4:30 also. And we will have Philly Godfather. We're going to be waiting here for a couple minutes here for Ice Cube here. Here we go. I believe Vic made the defense believe in him. More so than that, Blaine. I think Vic made the organization believe in him, that he can retool the team. And get this, I got to tell you, if you're thinking about how they're looking at this rebuild and these 8 battles that they're going to have in this springtime and in the fall camp, I bet you both coordinators or both coaches, Jeff Stoutland and Vic Fangio, said, hey, we might be the number 1, but I promise you this, we're going to be in a position where we're going to retool that bad puppy. All right. I thought that stat was nuts. I think Tony Dungy brought that up the other day. You want to know? Get this here. Make no mistake about it. You're going to take a look at this here, and you're going to know this. Without a doubt here, you're going to look at how the college game looks at paying the nil here. All right. With all that being said, our good friend here, hey, I got to do this before. Steve! There you go. All right. Our friend Ice Cube's going to join us right now. And I got to tell you, man, I saw him yesterday. And he was there at the LA Dodger game. He was delivering the World Series trophy there at Dodger Stadium. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, our friend Ice Cube joins us now. How you doing, Ice?
What's up, Dan? How you doing, man?
Hey, Cube, man, that was awesome yesterday, man. You're got the top down yesterday. You're at Dodger Stadium, man, delivering the World Series trophy for the fans of the Dodgers, man. That was dope yesterday.
Man, it don't get no sweeter. As a Dodger fan, I remember, when Reggie hit them home runs in the '70s, broke our heart. Us finally, winning in '81. Um, and then, all these years later, we was just, I was on my street, Van Wyck, watching those games. Never thought I'd be a part of a Yankee, Dodger, World Series, performing, and then them asking me to come to the parade, and now, delivering the trophy. It's like it don't get no sweeter for a Dodger fan.
Boy, I'll tell you too, Cube. I won't lie, man. I'm a Yankee fan growing up, and I love when you were. I mean, everybody was. I mean, Dodger, Yankees, Celtics, Lakers, man. I mean, those series were so great with those Yankee teams, those Dodger teams with Garvey and Lopes and Dusty Baker and all them guys. Reggie Smith, man. Like you said, I'm a kid watching those series, man. I mean, what's your favorite Dodger moment? Is it Gibson? Is it another moment? Do you remember that when you were a kid that kind of sticks out most when the Dodgers were winning and winning a couple World Series? Is something that stuck out for you?
Yeah, I think it has to be. It's a lot of moments, but the Gibson home run. If we thinking about it, it's '88. Um, we still on the block. I'm watching the game with Dre and we at Jink's house. It's a house full of people, and it doesn't look like the Dodgers are gonna win this game, but we all stick with it. And look, we wasn't, we wasn't, cocky, but we still felt good. And it comes down to the last, that last swing, and we all run out the house. We all on the block, screaming and yelling. That the Dodgers had did it, and so I had Freddie Freeman too. It kind of reminded me of that time, but it wasn't quite the same.
Now, you're going to have to help me out here on this. Is it 25 years since War and Peace dropped? I mean, Cube, you
Yeah,
gotta. Hey, wait, man. I don't want to date you anything or any, but man, has it been 25 years since that thing dropped?
yeah. Now that's the second version. That's the Peace disc. It dropped in 2000, and yeah, it's been 25 years. I got records older than that, man. I got records that's 35 years, 40 years old. So, um, it's cool to be in the game long enough to have a 25-year album that people dig. I'm still performing a lot of those songs, and it's still a good time. We're still celebrating the music.
Big three, man. Here we are again. I mean, I've been reading, and I got a guy that sent me something. He goes, "Hey, Cube's now going Australian." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Hey, man, it's like what is that called now? It's like NBL, and now it's teaming up with Big Three too. So you guys are going global with this now, and the NBA can't stop you, Cube. You're going global here, man. They do everything they can to try to stop you, but here you are, man. You got to be proud of the expansion."
Well, it's that they can't stop us. People love the product. They love the league. They love our version of 3-on-3. Much more exciting than the FIBA version. And we worldwide now. Teaming up with the NBL, which is a great league. Probably the second best pro league in the world, behind the NBA. And this is the relationship we wanted to have here, but we're to Australia doing exhibitions. Hopefully one day we'll have an Australian league, the Australian version of the Big Three going, and this thing will be truly, um, you know, the worldwide vision that we've had of the league that Basketball is one of those sports that play all over the world, Dan. Like boxing and soccer is basketball. So we feel like we can put the big three in all four corners of the earth.
Why doesn't the NBA want to work with you, Cube? Instead of like being like, arm's length, why don't they embrace it and say, you already got the blueprint. You already are putting your back into this. You've already believe in you know what, too? You're taking the brands of many of these players that had such great brands in the past, and you're kind of like giving more life to those brands that they have created. You would think the NBA would want to embrace that because they help foster those brands with, the players of the past, like Carmelo Anthony and guys like that. Why don't they step in and why don't they team up with you instead of fight you?
I have no idea. At a certain point, we got to stop asking ourselves that question and just do what we do. I'm not worried about why. In a lot of instances, that ship has sailed. We have new owners. We're planted in cities, and we have a great league that's going to be here for a long, long time. And the people want it. We're here to stay. The people decide, not the NBA. The people decide if we're worthy of being around for 75 or 100 years like the NBA. So, that's what we're focused on, our fans, the people that's helping us grow this league all over the world.
I got to tell you, Cube, I got to get your take on this here, man. I mean, LeBron James did something that I disrespect. And I don't really look at him as a Laker. I look at him more as I think he's a borrowed Laker. I think he's more of a mercenary Laker. I'll never put that dude in the league of Kobe Bryant. But I will say this, and what I didn't like on that Stephen A. Smith is that he's trying to tell me that Giannis would score 700 points if he played back in the day. And to me, Cube, that was a shot more so at Jordan, more than just a shot at the guys of the past. I mean, there's no need for that, man. Those guys paved the way. Like you always talk about guys like Luther Campbell or people that were in the past that you guys stand on the shoulders of. Instead of doing that, I took that as an insult. There's no reason to take shots at Dr. J. There's no reason to take shots at Magic and Larry. So just to enhance your position on where you are today and where you think the guys are today versus the guys of the past, it's a different conversation. I don't really think, I don't know, man. You tell me what you make of LeBron.
Well, I haven't heard the comment. At the end of the day, you know, uh, trying to compare eras is just a brain exercise. It can happen. And nobody's scoring 700 points in the NBA against nobody in no era. The league was a physical league back then. There was hand checking. There was things that you could do to really put pressure on the ball and the offensive player. And so nobody's scoring 700 points. Can't do it in this era. Definitely can't do it in that era. So that's just not happening. So that's just, somebody, really exaggerating the point, but the fact is it's just a meaningless brain exercise for sports fans to try to compare eras. It's like trying to play a real fantasy football game. It's like you just can't do it. It's all on paper, baby. It's all on paper.
Couple last ones here for you, Cube. You think Bronny again? I mean, it's funny, Cube. If you're a parent, someone asked me the question, Sills, wouldn't you help out your kid get ahead? Of course I would. Okay,
Mhm.
Of course I would. And I would do everything for that kid to try to be a professional in anything they wanted to do. I would definitely do that. But you also have to be open for the criticism of what people are going to say because he is a professional, Cube. I mean, I mean, that's got to be tough for him, for LeBron to balance that on being a professional athlete, knowing that criticism comes from the media, and yet being a father? That's got to be a tough place for him to be in.
It's a tough place. And it's the job of a father to protect his family, of course. Um, and it's also the job of the media is to critique athletes, and front office and the sports world. So, when he becomes a professional, um, he's gonna have to deal with the media himself. Um, you know, you can't play for him, and you really shouldn't really talk for him. At the end of the day, he's a pro, and he has to be able to deal with the court, and has to deal with the media, and has to deal with the public. Um, you can help him figure that out, but it's his line to walk. At the end of the day, um, I advise my son, how it can be out there in the media and in the public when he decides to say things. And, at the end of the day, um, I might say something if the public says something, but at the end of the day, if people are paid to critique his performance and they don't like it, it's really nothing he can say, nothing he should say to them. He should move on and keep it moving, or do an interview and speak his mind. But he has to deal with the media himself. It's always better.
Couple last ones here. I got one here. The other day, Tony Dungy was on the show, and I asked him, and I know that you know this man, and I know Amy Trask does, and Tony Dungy believes that John Gruden should get another opportunity at coaching in the National Football League again. And he says that he believes that people have made mistakes, and he says that he should get that opportunity. Eric Allen, who is a dear friend of mine, they lit the torch. He sent me the flame lighting for him when he was out there with the Raiders, and he still works with the Raiders, believe it or not. And he thinks he deserves an opportunity to get back into the National Football League. Keith, you think John Gruden belongs or has another, or should be given another opportunity to coach in the NFL again?
I don't know. I haven't really examined the real reason why he was kicked out. As long as he don't come coach for the Raiders again, I'm done. You know, he done hurt our feelings too much. Beating us in the Super Bowl. With Bill Callahan, his best friend or his buddy or his offensive coordinator, and then coming back, trading Khalil Mack, and just busting up the Raiders and then getting kicked off the team. So if he coaches, just as long as it ain't with the Raiders, I'm fine. I don't,
Oh, hold on. I think
don't
there's
matter
a
to me.
cube scoreboard here going on with John.
Maybe you should go. Maybe you should go coach the Chiefs. That might be the best move for him.
Hey, Cube. So sounds to me like you got a scoreboard going on there a little bit with John Gruden there a little bit. Cube, finally, anything else left there for Big Three? Is there anything right now on the horizon? Anything new that we're going to see this year?
Of course, the Big Three. This is season 8, summer in the city. We planted in 8 cities this year. We'll be the home of the teams. We're in Detroit, we're in LA, we're in Houston, we're in Dallas, we're in Chicago, Boston, and we're in the DMV and Miami. So, we planting flags in those cities. Come out and check us out in those cities this summer. And hopefully it next year we'll add 4 more cities to that, and keep growing this incredible league.
Absolutely, Cube. My friend John Morgan wants to be part of the Big Three. I told him, and we kind of went back and forth on text messages. So, I mean, you're going to be hearing from him real soon, because get this, he's got a NASCAR now. He sponsors the Yankees, the Red Sox. He sponsors just about every single sporting event that there is. And so he wants to be part of the Big Three. He's a big fan of yours. So Absolutely appreciate it. Thank you so much, Cube. I appreciate you doing this for me. I thought it was dope yesterday, you in the car, man. Thank you so much.
Anytime, every time, Dan. Take it easy.
You got it, my friend. That is the legendary Ice Cube, man. I really appreciate him doing that. Steve! Go, Steve. Go. Hey, I can't even do a damn interview with Ice Cube because my damn dog is screaming. Yeah. I love you, Steve. Get this right here. How much did that cost? You think people, what do you think I'm Pat McAfee? I pay people to come on my program? You got the wrong dude there, Junior. People come on because they love big sales, not because they're paid. That's the difference, Junior. People love big sales. How you doing? My damn dog. Cube's laughing his ass off, too, while Stevie's barking. Very fair, very rarely. It's all right, Steve. I love you, buddy. Come on, Stevie boy. It's all right. Oh, things I battle here. Okay? That's why it was 15 minutes. 15 minutes of Ice Cube's time. Hey, Jay, 15 minutes of Ice Cube's time. I don't take advantage of people. How you doing? Look at this guy, Jay Bone. Hey, Jay Brown. That's because you've never seen a show like this before. Yeah, I'm sure. So you trying to, Jay Bone's trying to tell you that I paid Tony Dungy, Jimmy Johnson, Kurt Schilling to come on this week. Okay? You know whose money I used? I used Mike Missinelli's money. Oh, wait, he don't have any. Stills, get a cat. I got 3 of them. Stills, tell him how you know Ice Cube. No, I'm not, Q. I'm not going to tell him. He don't deserve it. I'll let him sit back with his little Duncy hat on. Okay? No. Holy cow. 15 minutes from a guy that has enough money to be doing anything he wants. He came on to chop it up with Sills. Y'all wish you were that respected. How many times is that, Xander, that Ice Cube's been on the program now? 7? All the time, anytime. All for you, Big Sills. He's really cool to me, man. He is. Look at Xander. That's awesome, man. Nice job. Yes, sir, man. Let me retweet those. That's really cool. Every time that guy spends time. Deion Sanders just landed a $54 million extension from the University of Colorado. Sileo never name drops. How could it be name dropping when I'm just naming the people who have been on my program? Name dropping is people you don't know. Isn't it? Oh, I would too. He goes like this. I would too. Wait a minute though, man. Hey, Roland, I'm not name dropping. I'm just talking about the folks that came on. Will somebody please tell him how many times Eric Allen's been on the program? Tell Jay Brown how many times Eric Allen's been on the show. 3? Give me another one, kid. I missed it. Oh, well, hell. Well, there's an easy thing you can do. Xander tells you all the time. You can go back and listen to them on JAKIB Sports. They're there for you. And I'll do this for you simple. Jay Brown. Click. JAKIB Sports. Type in Eric Allen. It will pop up. Working on it. Working on it. Your real fans know how many famous people you have on the show. Thank you, Angelo. That's cool, man. Let me tell you something. You guys aren't fans of Big Sills. Don't ever do that. And I appreciate. Hey, by the way, Angelo, that's nice of you to say that and use that term. How about our show viewers? I'm not. Okay. I don't like to be looked at having fans because I'm one of you. Okay, you know what I mean? Sue, that's nice and all, but, I mean, people ask me for my autograph. I always had a funny time, always had a hard time writing them things up. I really do. I have a hard time doing that. I put my name on some stuff, but I don't know. Because I look at myself like you guys. No better, no worse. I don't try to make myself to be a superstar. I seriously don't look at myself as that. That's not why I do this, okay? Rico, man, you're part of my culture here, man. Now, that I am proud of. Part of the people that watch the show all the time, okay? I am working on John Gruden. I'm working through Jay. Jay's been on. I'm working on John Gruden through Jay and also through John Morgan. Michael Vick and John Morgan are best friends. Michael Vick's been on my program before, my radio show. But, yeah, no, I'm trying to get him on here, okay? Thank you, Abe. Yeah, Abe, I get what you're saying. See? M. Reyes always has to go there. Okay? A great pull. I don't have any. Let me think. Oh, wait, Tony Dungy. You want to know? Hey, Xander, I'll tell you the secret. Do you know how I know people? I'll ask Ice Cube for Snoop Dogg's number. He gives it to me. Or Method Man. And they give it to me. And then I reach out and I forge a relationship with them. And that's how I build relationships. I asked John if he could help me with Michael Vick. He said, sure. Yeah, you want to get this? I'm texting John Morgan yesterday. He's having a conversation with Barack Obama and me at the same time. I'm like, what am I doing on this text message? He says, I don't comment a lot, but I watch your show. Man, Master Chief, I know you do, dog. You're awesome, man. Hey, you know what I love? We put on Mark Holmes and Philly 500. And believe me, I put people on for a reason. Look at your boy Xander. I mean, Xander was a nobody except the guy behind the scenes. Now he's one of the bigger stars coming up. Love it. That's what we do here. I want him to continue to grow. That's what we do. You think I'm putting anybody on this bitch? That ain't happening. I've never done that. Hey, let me kill a segment and put on a stiff. I don't put stiffs on. I'd rather do a full segment than put a stiff on. Somebody goes like this earlier. Silio's shows are carried by his guest. No. If that's the case, I have no show. I need Dougie P. That's been a tougher putt to get him on, but I work on it. I need to know what the hell happened with Carson, Hunt, Hurts, and the FO. Morgan guy, very interesting and surprising. 5 minutes, him talking about everything. I knew why he's worth $2 billion, $2.5 billion. Yes, the channel is unique. God, that's my favorite word of all time. That is my favorite word of all time, is the word unique. I love that word. I don't like the word best, better than phrase. Sills, do you think you're better than? No. Do you think you're one of? Yes. Okay, yes. I never will ever tell you I'm better than anybody else. Okay? I just know our shows are better because they're different. Diverse conversations. You know what's funny, Abe? Those diverse conversations are part of the reason why I got exiled from radio. You know why? People are afraid to have the conversations I do. Race, religion, and politics is what my shows have always been built on. You know why? They make you feel uncomfortable. And I enjoy making people uncomfortable with our conversations. And that's why we have politicians, newsmakers, celebrities, athletes, coaches, people. I like Philly 500. I've come to really like him. I like Mark Holmes. I've come to like him. I don't just put dudes on to put people on. I never would do that. Why would I bore you guys? Why would you guys want me to put some? Hey, do me a favor. Listen to some of those radio shows in Philly. They put stiffs on. They're called segment killers. I would never do that. That's called layup radio. Okay? It's layup radio. We don't do layups. I'm a Benny Blades fan. Can you get him on? Benny Blades. You're a Benny Blades fan? It's one of my favorite people on the planet. What a brother of mine. Man, I love him. One of my teammates, and I've known him 40 plus years. God, I love that guy. You want Benny? Benny was an all-pro safety with the Lions. Maybe football season. How about that? We'll do it during football season. We'll get Benny on. Stupidity. You're doing quite well, Sills. Sills, they can beat you down, but can't break. Can't be broken. Abe, thank you. Oh, they try. They do. Who would have thought a year ago Sills was channeling his inner McGregor, Conor McGregor, I'm assuming. Who the fuck is Mark Holmes? Today he likes him. Best segment is the Battle Royale. I like that segment. I won't lie. I do like that segment too. I like the Battle Royale. Xander's going to join us. That'll be at 4:30. And then the legendary Philly Godfather. I can't believe Calipari went down yesterday. That was terrible. He went down yesterday, man. Hey, by the way, real quick before we take a timeout, what side of the aisle are you on with this LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith conversation? You see, Cube didn't want to get anywhere near that thing. He didn't want to touch it. And I kind of get it. Big Sills was trying to get a soundbite, but he didn't want nothing to do with that thing. Okay, so here's where I'll go with it. So yesterday, Stephen A. Smith attacked LeBron James by saying, how come you didn't go Kobe Bryant's memorial service? Well, he was wrong. He was there. He was in a suite. How come you didn't come down and be seen like everybody else? How come you didn't go to Dwayne Wade's enshrinement into the Hall of Fame? Those are stupid. And I would say this to Stephen. If you had a problem with him, why did you say that then? See, here's the difference between me and him. he got butthurt over going on the McAfee show. And I got a criticism for McAfee here in a second. He's hurt because he didn't do his show and that he did the McAfee show. That's why Stephen A. Smith is upset. He just signed that $20 million a year contract. And he's upset that he went on his show. And it's the only reason. Okay? I mean, that to me is not a reason to be upset with him. Now, here's my criticism of Pat McAfee. So Pat McAfee tweeted out, I'm going to get the tweet here. He tweeted this out. By the way, I heard Missinelli defending Stephen A. Smith and attacking LeBron James. Of course he will, because that's who he is. Let me see here what he said. McAfee. And I disagree with Pat with what he did here. So Pat McAfee goes, and I'm going to paraphrase. He says this, he goes, I can't believe that LeBron James sat down with a white guy and did an interview. Why would you race bait? It was a more difficult get on getting LeBron to sit in a studio with you for an hour, a full hour. And now you have to race bait your audience after getting a great get. And Pat goes, I can't believe. Go to his Twitter page. I can't believe he sat down with a white guy. It's race baiting. That guy is so far above that. LeBron James sitting down with a white guy is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen him do. It's a shame. He's trying to get a third generation out of it by creating more of a context so that people can watch or look at the interview when he should just let it sit. That's called overcooking it. Pat McAfee said that. Racism as its finest. You know what I would have did? I would have got LeBron on and I would have let that interview hang there. I would have put some sound bites up and let it live. And then repost it. Relabel it. Instead, you come out and you go, I can't believe a guy like LeBron James sat down with a white guy to do an interview. That's exactly what he said. You're like, why? Now you sound like the rest of them. Must be taken out of context? Bro, go fucking look at this post. Very simple. Go look at his post. You don't need to do that. Get this. Somebody says he's being sarcastic. That's Tony Bruno. What being sarcastic, ask Joe Kraus and Xander Kraus what being sarcastic gets you. Ask those guys. Signing a $500,000 deal with a guy, and then somebody comes in and pulls the rug out from you because you were, quote, sarcastic. I mean, it doesn't work like that. If there's people that know that better than the Krauses, you show me who they are. These guys signed a big-time contract with a company for $500,000. Somebody's trying to be sarcastic with LeBron or about LeBron. I'm not going to name any names. They get a $500,000 check pulled out from under them. Shit. That actually led to me. Sarcasm? Okay. But funny, isn't it, guys? Right, Xander? Isn't it funny? Sometimes it works for some, and sometimes it works for not others. Okay? I understand both sides. I admire Stephen A. isn't backing down, in my opinion. Most would, in his position, against a guy like LBJ. Hey, Devin, I'm going to tell you my position once again. I don't care about any side. I love the context of the content. I'm a content guy. I'm the king of content. I don't pick a side in some shit like that. I don't lose ever in that. I don't know those two dudes from a can of paint, nor do I care to. Okay? I don't care what they do, who they talk about, what they say. Let me ask you something, though. Last thing here on this. What's the difference between Marcus Hayes getting pushed around and intimidated by Joel Embiid and LeBron James intimidating Stephen A. Smith? What's the difference? One guy put his hands on somebody. LeBron James went over and spoke to Stephen A. He told him his feelings. Didn't put his hands on him. I think what Joel Embiid did by putting his hands on Marcus. I think you can confront media guys. I do. Hey, you got a problem with me? What's your effing problem here? How come you, what is that about, talking about my kid? Hey, your kid's a Laker? Your kid's open for criticism and praise. That's what I would have said. And if you don't like it, this is why guys like Angelo and me, we don't have friends like that. If you get butthurt over me making a comment about your football team or your general manager, this is why the Eagles are mad at me. The Eagles are mad at me because I was critical of Howie's drafts in the past. Well, they were terrible. They were. Like I pointed out yesterday, in all of Howie's drafts, with all the wide receivers, name me another wideout that he's drafted that was a great player like Devontae in all of his drafts. You can't. Name me a linebacker he's ever drafted that was a great player. Can you? Name me one. Name me one edge rusher that he's drafted that has been exceptional. TJ Edwards was not drafted. Okay? Name me one. He's gotten better the last 4 years for sure. You think Josh Sweat's exceptional? Oh, I see. For this conversation, he's exceptional. But for a replacement conversation, he's replaceable. Okay. You got to pick one. Not when it fits your narrative. LeBron won't sit down and have a conversation where he has to account for his own actions and words. What has LeBron James done in his career that has been so detrimental in any way, shape, or form to his brand? That stupid thing about China and supporting China is dumb. When Daryl Morey made a comment about the Chinese basketball, when he was the general manager of the Houston Rockets, that was stupid. You think flopping and hurt that guy's brand? He's the all-time leading scorer. He's got 4 championship rings, and he's got 3 MVPs in 3 different cities. I know you're kidding there, but people do bring that up. I do think the China thing's not cool. But Braun has done nothing wrong. I just don't happen to think. My problem is that him taking a shit on the players of the past to elevate his status of today by saying today's players are better athletes. They are. And Jordan and those guys, get this. Are you under the impression, though, Michael Jordan wouldn't score 70 points today? You can't hand check. You can't mug them. There's no centers in the game. The pivot are oversized power forwards now. Name me one great center in the game right now that was a dominant center like Olajuwon or Ewing or Kareem or guys like that are playing in today's game. Joel Embiid sits at the perimeter as a 7'3" center, shoots three-pointers. You don't have a physical presence on the box like you used to back in the day, like Shaq. You imagine running the lane when those guys were there? You could run the lane. You imagine Jordan with no center down in the pivot? Come on, man. Michael Jordan would score 70. By the way, I think Steph Curry could play in the 80s. He shoots everything from the hallway anyway. That's the only guy I've ever seen that could take the three-point shot when they put it in the game and still play it any decade. Because you know why? That guy shoots from the hallway. I mean, yeah, but I do think it's kind of funny watching guys going after the little crumbs. You know, that LeBron sprinkled out. He says something. Hey, guys, you see what I did the other day to the guy from Crossing Broad? That Kevin guy. Hey, Xander, that Kevin guy, that guy's the easiest mouse to catch in a trap. All you got to do is question something or throw something like this out. Great. Now you got this guy who's a nobody going after Nick Sirianni's religion, Cooper DeJean's religion. Silio's just a guy I want to go after and hear anything about morality. Okay. Here's a guy that doesn't know me from a can of paint, but pretends he does because he reads about me. He reads about me on his toilet. Oh, Sileo said this. How you doing? Thanks for being here, kid. So good to see you. Check out Dumbasses. This whole thing was just Bron proving how much pull he has still. He does. He's just flexing. Stephen A. Smith is just annoying. He doesn't talk to Bron like he did with Kobe. Rest in peace for sure, man. Dude, I love Mamba. Hey, I'm a Kobe guy. I like the fact that people hated him, and then when he left the game, they love him now because they realize what he was. That Kobe was going to be I thought Kobe was a great dad, man. Kobe made me want to be a better dad to my kid and make sure I tell her every day I love her because you never know when you're not going to be there. Great player. LeBron has his media network and is trying his way to too hard to control narratives. Oh, he's always done that. Maverick Carter will always do that. Okay? Always. Also, he was an Eagles fan, Sells. Kobe was an Eagle fan. Tomorrow's never. Hey, Sue. Seriously. Sue, the story goes to this. So my daughter and my wife were driving back from LA that morning. And the fog was crazy. They were supposed to take an airplane back from LA to San Diego. And they're coming down that highway where that copter went down. My wife missed her exit 3 times because there was so much dense fog. She gets home. I go, Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash. She's like, where? It was, I can't remember. I don't think it was Laurel Canyon. It was, I forget where it was. I said, yeah, Kobe's helicopter. She goes, unbelievable. We were going 5 miles an hour on the road because the fog was so dense. She says, there's no way I would have taken an airplane home. No way. And he had a helicopter, which was lower visibility. Calabasas, that's it. She was driving through Calabasas. We were just there. My daughter plays rugby in row. So we were just in Calabasas 2 Saturdays ago. And Dee Dee goes up there, and she was going to take an airplane back. But it was too much fog, and they were grounded. They wouldn't even let them take off that morning from LAX to go down to San Diego. They got to rent a car and came home. True story. True story, man. I go, Kobe Bryant died. She's like, let me guess, plane crash. I go, no, helicopter crash. How'd you know? She goes, where? I go, Calabasas. She's like, we drove through Calabasas Canyon. Okay. Thanks, honey. Appreciate it, honey. That chop today were also. Hey, James. I never get too crazy when somebody dies because, I don't know some of these guys from a can of paint. But I knew his agent. And you know how I knew his agent? His agent played for Steve Fisher at Michigan. He was part of the Fab Five recruiting class. And so I got a chance to know Kobe's agent. And he became, if I'm not mistaken, he became the general manager. I think he's the GM now of the Lakers. And Steve Fisher introduced me to him because he played at Michigan with Jalen Rose and Jimmy Jackson and all them guys. And I got a chance to know him. And I guess from what I understand, I had him on my program 3 days or 4 days after the fact. May have been a little bit after. And he said that Rob Pelinka, that's it. Rob Pelinka played with Steve Fisher and those dudes. And Rob Pelinka said that he had talked to Kobe before he got on that. He still has a text message in his phone. The last communication that Kobe had was to Rob Pelinka. Be careful. This is, Labaco was talking about the guy was walking contradiction. These clowns who take his sermon wants his La Hammer. Disgraceful. Yeah. How you doing? Xander's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Hit that like button, buddies. Appreciate you, Sue. Yeah. My wife and kid got into a rent-a-car and drove down. God knows what would have happened. I don't know. I know this at the airport that morning in in Los Angeles. They grounded flights until later in the afternoon. And they came home that morning and they were like, yeah, my wife drove like 10 miles an hour because the roads were so with no visibility when Kobe went down in that helicopter crash. No, I don't watch that guy. I don't watch that. No. Thanks, Sue. Appreciate it. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. And do not forget our dear friend, John Morgan and Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in America with over $20 billion recovered. $20 billion. That's their resume. Told you about the family in Pennsylvania here. $650K they were offered by an insurance company. They ended up getting $26 million. That family in Florida, $350K. They were awarded $12 million with over 1,000 attorneys from coast to coast. The #1 injury law firm in America is Morgan & Morgan for a reason. They get results. That's their resume. This will be the easiest decision that you ever make. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. Do me a favor. You tell them Big Sil sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sales National Football Show. Please hit the like button. We appreciate you guys coming here on this Friday. Thank you again. Please hit the like button. Give me a total on the likes where we are. Xander's going to join us here in a couple minutes. We will also have the legendary Philly Godfather joining us. That'll be at 5:30. I want to go back because we were getting ready to talk about the 10 guys that I think that the Eagles could see down at 32 down there. I also want to do this. I believe that the Minnesota Vikings are still in contact with Aaron Rodgers. You got too many good football players on that Minnesota Viking team to turn that team over to J.J. McCarthy. I'm not turning that football team over to him. I don't believe, why in the world would you put that kid is not Jaden Daniels. I don't know what Aaron Rodgers has left. But for me, Aaron Rodgers is a better option for that team to at least try to be in the conversation with the Rams, the Commanders, and the Eagles. You're never going to compete if you're Minnesota with J.J. McCarthy with the Philadelphia Eagles, let alone the Rams and the Commanders. You've got to give yourself a chance. You know what Russell Wilson does for New York? Russell Wilson gives the Giants at least a shot to be something competitive. Dak Prescott gives the Cowboys an opportunity. Get this. Again, gives them an opportunity to be competitive. Some would say, to what end? It's a great conversation. You're right. Sills, you're telling me that you just want Minnesota just to be hanging around? Well, here's why. On March 28th versus November 7th, you don't know if he sustained injuries. What if Jalen Hurts blows his knee out? Would that change the dynamic of the Philadelphia Eagles? You don't know what could happen in a regular season of an NFL season. A.J. Brown could blow his leg out and blow his knee out. You have no idea how a season will play itself out. You have no idea. I don't either. The war of attrition, that's a part of this stuff. That's what makes the NFL. Hey, why do you think that there's never been, what's that year, Xander? When's the last time there's been a repeat champion in the NFC East? 2004? Is that the last time? It was like 2004 that there was a champion in the East. Why? Well, because every year's different. Guys get hurt. Look how many times Dak's been out to give other teams in the division a shot to win it. Part of the game. That's why, again, one of the more difficult things for the Eagles this offseason is going to be, again, all these job openings. As I said, you got about 8 position job openings. It's not that you don't have. I never at any time told you that you don't have the talent to do that. Look at this. This is why this guy's a dumbass. Who in their fucking right mind prays for somebody to get hurt? Spike's a douche. That's a douche comment. Praying for somebody to get hurt. Yeah, that's what I want, Spike. To cover the Jets. What a douche. Honestly. He completely did. Again, and Sue, I'm not going to justify it when you got a jerk like that. I mean, no NFL guy ever roots for players to get injured. Nobody with any kind of brains would either. Never, absolutely, ever would I wish another NFL player to get injured. Absolutely. I don't care who he is. That's not happening. Okay? Sills ain't praying for anything bad. Absolutely not. I love playing the game above the knees. Okay? Man on man. Best player wins. That's right, Brandon. Okay? Needs a disclaimer at the beginning of his shows. Or you don't have to be here, CZ. Very simple. Disclaimer? What's that? Truth? Mostly, again, I probably for a show like you, you're right, truth. You know what the disclaimer is? Sileo says the truth here. That would be your favorite disclaimer. There's your disclaimer. Truth. I knew you'd like that. I knew you'd like that, Fuzzy. I wonder why. Oh, it's Friday and it's fun. How you doing? Look at this. Okay, let's see what this is. Sills, your acquired taste, man. It took a minute for me to appreciate. You've now become one of my favorites, Curtis. I need a t-shirt with that. Hey, Fuzzy Balls. It's all right. Don't worry. We're boys. Sills, I'd subscribe to you, you barbarian. Oh, my God. Come on, Sue. You know you love me. How you doing? You bring up what to create conversation. What ifs? What do you mean, what ifs? You mean all the job openings that you're going to be fighting for this offseason? What do you mean a what if? I'm going to do that exercise with my man, Xander Krause, here in a second. We don't have any job openings. No, not the Eagles. Will we? Yeah, not the Eagles. Stills do the draft online. Let's see here. Did I get my Venmo? I'll think about it. All right. Without further ado, you should hear the pontificating that goes on at Birds 365 with John McMullen. Well, you know, it's not really an A. You know, you don't really B and A. I go. All right. My boy, though, man. My boy's a ship captain. And he navigates that thing really well, and it's kicking ass right now. And I enjoy watching that show. I do. There's very few shows I enjoy because I just don't think anybody says anything. But I do love Birds 365. I'll tell you this. You know, when they got Paul Harvey off the show and they put Xander in there as the host, excuse me, Joe. Oh, well, I don't mean anything. When they got Xander in there, kind of livened it up a little bit. Without further ado, our friend Big Z and the Tango.
What's up, Big Sills?
How you doing? Am I really an acquired taste?
Oh, you're definitely an acquired taste. But you're the best in the business, man. So anybody that sticks around long enough knows real quick. They learn real quick why people come here, why people listen to Big Sills for sure. Great interview, by the way, with Ice Cube, man.
Let me hang on. Hey, Stevie, how could you scream, honey, during Ice Cube? Huh?
Yeah, I was
scream.
Stevie was about to meet me, okay? And Stevie doesn't want to meet me. I was about to come over there and punt that damn dog.
I could not believe it.
You said Stevie's what, 10 pounds? I'll take that dog and punt it out the back porch.
Stevie, we love you, honey. Hey, man. Cube's all. Hey, man. I'll tell you what. He didn't want to go down any roads. I was trying to get him to go down some roads, but I thought he was awesome here. But what do you make of this whole thing with LeBron and with LeBron and Stephen A. Smith?
We talked about it, but I think it's cool. I'm one of the guys. I don't know if it's possible to say this, but I gained respect for all the parties. I gained respect for LeBron because he sat down in an environment that he hasn't done before. He gave us his side, his perspective. I gained respect for Pat McAfee because obviously it's a big get. You know, anybody in our business knows how big of a get that is, whether you like LeBron or don't. And I gained respect for Stephen A. too because everybody's entitled to their perspective. Stephen A. sees it through, this is my lens. This is my media. This is my world. And you're going to come in here and I'm not going to let you do that and take it. So I thought Stephen A. I listened to his podcast response. I got no issue. To me, I didn't take a side. I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the commentary. It's like,
I'm with you. I didn't take a side.
It's content. It's cool, but yeah. And by the way, the one thing that you said with McAfee, which was stupid. He tweeted out that thing. Like, oh, LeBron did an interview with a white guy. Now, the reason he said that, I get it. I'm with you. It was stupid. Why even give it any life? But there was like a section of the internet. There was like a section of people that wanted him to do an interview with a black podcast creator or a black host like Shannon Sharp. And they thought him going on McAfee was a knock. So then McAfee's sarcastic response was, I can't believe he did it with a white guy. And I think he more believes like you. Like, what do you mean? I'm just Pat McAfee. You put a race on it, Yeah. But I got you.
Excuse me. What lesson have the Krauses learned about sarcasm? I thought there was like a $500,000 check that had a rug on it, that had a big number on it because somebody, I'm not going to tell, was sarcastic.
I'll tell it.
You understand? Hey, you understand where I'm coming from? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
He was probably being. I agree with you, by the way.
Yeah, but some people have different. Not everybody lives by the same rules, Sills. We didn't have leeway like that to be sarcastic. McAfee does. But the story is, back in 2019, Jacob
Get
had
this, guys. These guys had Tony Bruno teed up to put out one of the top
Sirius
shows
XM. Yeah.
on Sirius. They had a giant advertiser. Tell the stories,
It was on the Dan Patrick channel on Sirius XM. It was the Tony Bruno show. And this was the first big sports show that Jacob had ever done. Jacob's been around for a while. I told you guys that. My dad started it a long time ago. It's been a lot of, other types of programming outside of sports. 2019 was the first level of success that he had in sports with Tony Bruno. And this was back when the gambling companies, DraftKings, FanDuel, they were just getting involved. And the money from those guys at the time was humongous because they were trying to buy their way. They were buying market share is what they were doing. All right. And we had just struck a deal. I wasn't involved at the time. I got involved in 2020, but I know the story well, obviously, because it affected us. But we had just struck a deal with DraftKings, a $500,000 deal to sponsor the Tony Bruno Sirius show like 2 weeks prior to this. So it was the biggest deal we had ever received in our media company, the biggest sponsorship deal we've ever received.
This is a crazy story, guys.
And 2 weeks later, do you guys remember when the story came out of LeBron and he always read the book and it was like always on the first page or somebody, I don't know, somebody was talking about that online. So Tony Bruno referenced that and said, LeBron can't even read. He said that on the air. Somebody didn't like it at SiriusXM. They yanked the show. DraftKings yanked the sponsorship. And it literally, in a span of 3 days, we went from riding a high horse to the show was gone for good. Crazy story.
Just because he sarcastically said he can't read.
Yep.
Okay. I mean,
said, yeah.
I don't think
Tony Bruno's no LeBron fan, but again, I mean, he's a sports talk guy. What are you going to like every guy now to be a sports talk guy?
Imagine that, folks. He got canceled over something that stupid.
Yeah.
That's how
it was really stupid. Like, I typically fall in the category of I like.
I defend that sarcasm, though.
Well, here's the thing. I like guys who are – I like that type of shows. And that's not for everybody, but I like being able to go out of bounds. That's why I like YouTube, because we can go wherever we want to go, right? So I like guys like that. But, Tony obviously said it, and people didn't like it, and they got rid of him. And we move on. We learn from it. We move on.
And here's Big Sills.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it really.
Big Sills, I said, at least we're on YouTube. We want to have a serious XM.
Hey, listen, what really happened was after that whole thing, that's when these guys started up the channel. And that's how Tony was the guy actually that introduced. Tony was the guy that actually introduced us together.
Well,
he said you should call him.
Right. And that's what got us on YouTube, because once that show got canceled, I was like, damn, we don't own anything. We were only a product of being on SiriusXM. And that's when I said, let's get content up. Let's do YouTube. And that's when me and my dad ultimately joined up forces. And we did JAKIB. And then we've been doing it ever since. And here we are, 2025. Big Sills is right here on JAKIB.
Let's see something here. Let's find out if Xander will be as sensitive as you guys were earlier in the show. So let's ask this question right out of the gate here. How many? No. I'm going to go down the list because I'm not going to give you a shot to lead this, because you'll take it from me here and I won't be able to finish up the deal here, because you're starting to get actually a little smarter in the Big Sills ways and in the Big Sills game. So I'm going to have to start to do this here. Let's do this here. Do you believe, Xander Krause, that there will be a competition at right guard this mini camp, OTAs, and training camp on who wins that job?
100%. There's no doubt about it. John brought this up this morning with Jason Kelsey, and I went back and listened to it. Jason Kelsey was on WIP yesterday. He kind of ripped
Tyler Steen.
Yeah, he kind of ripped him. And John brought up, he's like, I'm not saying that's what the organization thinks, but maybe it is what the organization thinks. So he is going to be in a competition. I'm not so sure he's going to win it. Remember, we talked about this yesterday. he might just be one of those guys who really can't play inside well. You know, you got to put him on the outside, and he probably is a swing tackle at best if you put him on the outside. So there's going to be a competition. In fact, don't sleep on the guy we just signed, Matt Pryor, 2018 draft pick. I could see him winning it.
Tyler Steen will be playing for the St. Louis Battlehawks in 2 years. He'll be playing for the Battlehawks. All right. Do you believe that there will be a competition this offseason for tight end?
Yeah. I don't know who it's going to be. I mean, is it going to be Harrison Bryant and Kylan Granson and Grant Calcaterra, Grant Cuttingboard? I don't like it. I mean, I've never been a fan of Grant Calcaterra. I like old school tight ends. I want a guy that's mean and can put a body on somebody. And that's why I've grown to like Goddard more, because I've realized that there's a market inefficiency with getting tight ends that will put a body on somebody, even at the top, even the best. So I like Goddard, but they're not going to keep Goddard. So,
Okay.
you know, we'll see what ends up happening there.
So
but
there's two. Let's move on. Shall we? Who is your right inside linebacker going into September? Will there be a job? Oh, no, he ain't going to play in September. He's not ready.
We don't know that yet.
Okay. So you don't know that yet. So who's going to play during the mini camps, training camps, until that guy gets back? Who's going to be prepared? So out of the skies of
Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
So will there be a competition for that position until your boy parachutes in from Mount Love of Philadelphia? Will there be a competition there? Yes or no?
No.
So Trotter, no matter what, is penciled in at right inside linebacker. That's not how Vic works.
Well, no, I thought you meant at the starting position. It's going to be Nakobe Dean.
So Nakobe's not going to participate at all in any way in OTAs, minicamp, barely be ready for training camp if he is, and there's going to be no competition at all for that right inside linebacker. When he gets back off of having a catastrophic knee injury, he's starting in your eyes.
A catastrophic knee injury.
I don't know. He did have. Hey, listen. They said that kneecap was up in his thigh, and they said that thing was more gruesome than you thought it was. Hey, I hope he comes back 100%, bro.
Yeah,
I mean it.
Yeah, I hear you.
I never want to see a guy lose his gig over being injured, man.
That's the first time he's had a knee injury.
Okay. So you don't think, okay, so let's just do that. We'll take that out. I mean, because you're in love with Nakobe here.
I'm not in love with anybody.
Hold on.
Is there a competition? No. The backup's going to play until the starter returns. When the starter returns, the starter goes in.
Jeremiah Trotter's not ready to be a starter in this league.
I said he's the backup. He's going to be in there until the starter's back.
You think Vic's going to start him in September?
I think Nakobe Dean's going to start in September.
Oh, okay.
He's not going to be there for training camp, though.
Let's put that over there on the side here of maybe ready for September. All right. Here's another one here. Strong side linebacker. The lead dog right now is, of course, Bryce Puffin Stuff. Will there be competition with all the dudes that they have signed? Uche Achis Matthias, Uchi Kuchi Kuchi, Azizi Olajuwon, Akeem Olajuwon, and Bryce Huff. Will there be a competition at strong side linebacker, in your opinion?
Absolutely. Who's it going to be? I don't even know if the guy's in the room right now.
I agree.
I mean, he might not be in the room. It might be a draft pick, but you know, I look, as much as I told you I like Uche as a bargain signing, I like him as a bargain player. Okay. I don't want him out there to be the starter. All right. You got Nolan Smith on one side. Who do you have on the other? Is it going to be Bryce Huff? I mean, I think Jalix Hunt would be in the mix, but like, who's going to be the default? Where are they going to start? Like, is Bryce Huff going to have the first chance to win the job? Are they going to go full rotation early and see who advances from the pack. I don't know. I have a feeling Jalix Hunt might be the guy, though, Sills. Think about it. It all depends. If Jalix Hunt is the type of dude that's working his balls off in the offseason right now to build his body and get bigger and get into that NFL form, I think it's going to be him. If he's slower and it takes him a little bit longer to develop, then you're going to have a question there. It might not be him. He might not be ready for it yet. But based on what he did in the playoffs, if he continues that ascension, I could easily see it being Jalix Hunt. But I still think you need another guy. I mean, maybe you don't. I don't know. If you get 5 sacks from Jalix, if you get 5 from Uche, you get 4 from Ojulari. Like, do you think that's enough? Is that good enough, though?
I'm more concerned about the run than I am that.
Me
because
too.
You won a Super Bowl with that mentality.
Yeah, now no one stopped that against the run.
Hey, bro, you didn't have a 14-sack guy and you won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay?
Now, Nolan was good against the run, and Josh Sweat was good against the run, though.
Yes.
So.
Will you have a competition at strong safety?
Gotta be. Yeah, it has to be for sure. I mean, I don't like sitting around that much.
1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 job openings.
What, is this a bad thing?
What? No, hang on. Let me get to it all here.
All right. Let it breathe. Let it breathe.
Is there going to be a competition at right corner?
Yeah, Keely Ringo. I think Adoree Jackson's going to be the guy. Honestly, I know people like Keely. I'm still high on Keely Ringo, but I don't know yet. I mean, I know you've seen it with Adoree. Do they want a little bit of veteran presence back there? I mean, think about your secondary right now. If Keely Ringo wins the job, Keely, Cooper, Quinion, Reed Blankenship, and Sidney Brown.
Okay,
that's young, brother.
So you would now have, with all these positions, for a defending Super Bowl champion, you got 7 job opportunities and 7 competitions that you've got to fill in this offseason, not counting your backups and who you're going to have replace Oren Burks, Isaiah Rodgers, and Fred Johnson. You think there's more question marks after this season than there even was after the meltdown year of a year ago?
Well,
there's a lot of job openings here, man.
I think this feels different because we succeeded. Like coming off a loss, coming off a collapse, I think you look and you're like, get rid of him. Get rid of him. Let's move. Let's turn the page there. Let's try and improve that. I don't think you had that mindset when you come off a Super Bowl win. Like when you come off a Super Bowl win, and I can acknowledge this as an Eagle fan, everybody gains like a little bit extra lore, even in your mind, even mentally, even if it's 5-10%, you lose Isaiah Rodgers. If we didn't win the Super Bowl this year, would anybody have given a shit? Probably not. But because you win the Super Bowl, he swatted a pass away in the Super Bowl. Oh, we lost him. Same with Oren Burke. Same with a lot of these guys. And they get a little bit of that extra boost from winning the Super Bowl. So I think it feels different, but I don't know that you have more questions. I mean, the questions of last year were different because we had the fixes, or at least we had the guys in the room, like Fletcher Cox retired. We weren't sure that Jalen Carter, I mean, we all felt pretty good, but we weren't sure he was going to be all pro. Well, he was. We didn't know what Cam Jurgens was going to be, but we felt good about him being in the room. So it felt a lot different. Like, I don't know if you have the answers in the room outside of the bargain guys.
That's exactly. See, last year I picked Cam Jurgens to be a Pro Bowler, and he was. And I thought he was going to be an upgrade from Kelsey, and he was. He had a 2,000-yard rusher and won a Super. Kelsey, man, they were better without you. I mean, that's got to hurt a little bit here.
That hurt. I think he's a little butthurt, Kelsey. I'm sensing a little butthurt coming.
Oh, me too. Me too. I'm not like one of those dudes who's like, I don't like. You notice he's being more critical?
Yeah, I've been listening to him, and I'm just like, I'm sensing a little bit of jealousy of some sorts from him. And I get it. It's natural, to be the guy for 14 years, only win one, and then you leave and they win the second one. It almost feel like he could have stuck around and maybe got
more
the
dominating. And more dominating.
And more right. And by the way, more dominating in the offensive line. Specifically.
And had the greatest running game in the history of the Eagles.
Which is a credit to the O-line. So, yeah, I sense that a little bit from Kelsey.
Think about this. When you talk about the greatest running performance by an offensive line in Eagle history, his name's not going to be mentioned in it.
No, it's not.
Hey, dude, I don't know about you. When you're calling me the greatest center of all time, and you tell me the greatest running season and the greatest, get this, the greatest O-line in Eagle history is Mekhi Becton, Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata, and Lane Johnson.
Yep.
There's no Jason Kelsey in that
Yeah,
conversation.
you didn't even give him a chance to like let it linger a couple seasons,
No.
right? I mean, he had one season and it was done.
6 months out of sight, out of mind.
I know. Well, listen,
I mean,
you know, that's ultimately part of the game, man. And don't be bitter about it, Jason.
do you think there's too many job openings?
No, I do not. I think it's good turnover. I think you need turnover. I don't think you want to fall into the complacency trap of bringing everybody back. Everybody thinks they can recreate the same camaraderie with the same team. You don't need that. Bring some young guys in, bring some hungry guys in, bring cheap guys in, bring expensive guys in. Do it all. I think that's what gives you the best chance. And I don't think any of the turnover that we have, while I can acknowledge, yes, there are questions we have to see, you know, and fans are ultimately extra optimistic right now because they just won a Super Bowl. So I understand that. But I don't feel like any of the holes or any of the things that we have to replace a few holes defense. I don't feel like any of the holes that we have to fix are that crazy. You know, I really don't. Like, I know Milton was great, but let's be real, he wasn't even the best defensive tackle on his own team.
Was he great?
He was good. He was good.
How about really good?
He wasn't
great?
really good.
How about
wasn't
it?
even-
No,
just
no,
said it.
I think he was really good. Do I think he was great? I don't know.
No. What about Josh Sweat?
I thought he was really good.
I didn't
Great.
even know if he was really good. I was
He
on
was great in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but like, what does
No,
that
no,
mean?
but what's the look? I think there's horrible, there's bad, there's decent, there's really good, and then there's great. Do I think anybody you lost this year was really great? No, I think they were really good, but I wouldn't go. I don't know. I mean, really great is Jalen Carter. That's really great.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
really good is? Really good is Josh Sweat. I mean,
I don't know. I think really good is Milton Williams and
I
good
think
is
you underplay. I think you underplay his performance this past season. I really do. Guy had 700 snaps. The guy's had 40 sacks in 5 years for you. He's played really. I mean, the last 3 years, he's got you 27 sacks. I don't know how that's bad to you.
I didn't say it was bad.
I think that's pretty exceptional.
It's
Actually,
certainly not irreplaceable.
you think there's a guy in your team that's going to get you in the next 3 years 30 sacks?
I didn't say that. I said
Okay.
I didn't think Josh Sweat was irreplaceable last year. Maybe that to you is downplaying his season, but I never viewed him as that type of a player. I don't think ultimately he ever turned into that guy. When I think of those guys at edge, I think of very rarefied air. There's 3 or 4 of them in the league. I mean, that are like that. There's TJ Watt, there's Michael Parsons. I'd get more than that. There's 6 or 7, maybe 8 or 9. But, you know, Watt, Parsons, Crosby, Garrett, you know, those guys. I don't think Sweat. In fact, I don't even think he's in the ballpark of those guys.
You look at Josh Sweat and Milton Williams as overachievers, not really exceptional guys.
Yeah, I don't want to clump Milton in there. I think Milton.
Well, they did overachieve.
Well, Milton is still ascending. Like I don't know if Josh Sweat is still ascending. I think he's probably at his peak or maybe on the other side.
He's who he is.
Yeah, he's who he is. So I like Sweat, but I'm not tripping. I'm not like, hey, we're screwed without Josh Sweat. If he likes the replacement Coochie better than Sweat.
Joshua Coochie Uchi. Do you?
No, I just said I don't want him in a starting role. Senor, open your fucking ears, dude. I mean, I got a headache all day. Now I got to deal with this dumbass question from you.
Hey.
Senor's had more dumb comments this week than ever. Senor, what got into your breakfast this week, dude? I mean, it's brutal.
How come when
I literally 4 minutes ago just said I like Uche, but don't want him to be a starter.
How come when I hear it and I do it, it's a different feeling for me too. I understand now where you're coming from. Hey, I heard your draft guy today. He was really good.
Yeah, Saratel, I love him. He's a good dude.
I am. You know what? Maybe start to think some of these Ohio State guys are going to be the next guys in the building. Because why? This guy likes recruiting, champions, culture, college culture. He hangs out. So he hangs out in those buildings. I'm talking Howie. Would it shock you if one of these Ohio State, Josh Simmons or Donovan Jackson or that Michael Williams kid, Kel Williams, that edge rusher end up in Philly because they just won a national title? They're well coached. They're in a great program.
Yeah.
They're in a winning environment. Doesn't that sound like somewhere he likes to go? I mean, to me, you know what Howie has done? Instead of Howie trying to find one of those hidden lakes to find out if there's bass in it, he goes to the places where he knows there's bass in it so that he could throw his fishing pole in there and he's going to get him a nice big old bass.
Does Big
He ain't
Sills
going
like
fishing. He ain't going fishing
Are you a
anymore.
fisherman?
Yeah. Always. Oh, yeah. My grandpa was. Absolutely.
All right. So you like going fish. Do you ever fish out there in Cali?
Oh, absolutely. No. Yeah, what am I going to go fish for? Guppies? California? I mean, what?
Just answer.
What? Lake Woke?
I don't know. You live next to the fucking Pacific Ocean, guy.
Yeah, all I know is this, man. If you go fishing out here, man, you got to make sure you turn it in to Gavin Newsom and make sure the fishing pole ain't anything to do against the environment or something. So that most likely I have to fish with a Q-tip.
What are you asking for sympathy? Those are your decisions, my friend. I've been telling
No.
you know, Sileo would give himself a 5-digit raise just by moving states because his tax burden and the price of strawberries would go down, you know, by 80%. He'd be giving himself a massive raise. I've been telling him this for 4 years.
No doubt about it, man. Let me give you these 10 dudes here. And I think he's gonna hang out, actually 11. He's gonna hang out in this area here. You see that guy Mike Green's falling, don't you? That guy this morning didn't even mention him.
No, he didn't. He mentioned him a little bit, but yeah, it's muddy. It's a muddy situation. And I'll tell you what, I was thinking about that after our conversation yesterday. I don't like that situation.
I know.
I do not like.
I know.
I do not like no.
My wife heard it too. She's like, you know, what? Why?
No information, no charges,
Yep.
nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. Like you can barely even get information on the incidents.
There's not even a report on it.
It's funny. It's weird. All right. I'm sorry. I don't like it, man. I don't like it.
Can I tell you kind of a story for me that reminds me of?
Yeah.
So listen to this. So I'm going to tie this in. This is going to be crazy because this guy was at Virginia. He ended up transferring to Marshall. And it was after the fact they suspended him. He was already on his way to Marshall. So listen to this, Ander. So I'm working on a contract with behind the scenes with Joe Bell in Miami and WQAM.
Okay.
For like $300,000, 150 grand more than what I was making in Tampa. I had told people I'm not resigning this contract. I happened to say something on the air. They came in, and when they found out that I was leaving, that's what they did because I was leaving. Don't you find it funny, Xander, that 3 days later, I had a job in Miami because I had signed a contract already.
Right.
I was gone, but they were so butthurt. That to me reminds me of this Virginia situation where because they had thrown this at him, he goes, I'm out of here. Then they piled on him. And then they created this, and I'm with you. I really feel for the kid. I'm telling you, I'm full more and more, man. If that kid's down there at 32, he's a super-looking kid, man.
I'd need more information. I would not rule him out, though, based on what I know right now. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, I would. He wouldn't even be impacted. Unless I learned more, I would say it's of no impact. I would obviously want to have a meeting with the guy, make sure the guy's got a good head on his shoulders, make sure he's not, you know, like that. But those are all things you do anyway, you know. But I'm not knocking a guy in his career for something like that. I don't think it's right. I mean, that's not the country we live in. I don't think that's fair. I think that's bullshit, actually.
What do you think of Shamar Stewart, the kid from A&M?
Out.
Why out?
He's probably the number one guy in the draft. For me personally, that I'm going downhill on. Everybody else I'm starting to like more. I don't like 4.5 sacks in your entire college career. And now because you ran fast and jumped high, people are like, the athleticism. Dude, you played at Texas A&M. You had good guys around you. You had 4.5 sacks in 3 years.
That's horrible.
Now, unless you're a nose tackle and you're Jordan Davis, which you're not, that's ridiculous. So
now you see my criticism of Jordan Davis coming out. He had 9 sacks in 3 years. I had a problem with that.
Yeah, but even that's different because we knew we drafted a nose tackle. That's what he was.
Okay.
That's what Jordan Davis was. Shamar Stewart is like a tweener edge defensive tackle guy.
Yeah, right.
So if you're going to line him up on the outside, you got to get production. You got to get home. If he can't do that, and then on the other side of it, James Pierce for me is going up crazy. And by the way, every time I freaking do research on James Pierce, every time I watch a highlight clip, every time I do anything, all I see is that ugly ass Tennessee fucking jersey, and it drives me crazy. It's like you scouting a Gator kid. I'm grossed out by that Tennessee color, but he looks damn good, and he was productive on the football field.
Folks, are you listening to Xander Krause right now? You know what he's telling you? He's a tape guy. You're a tape guy. You want to see the tape. You don't give a shit about a guy at Gold's Gym. Some of these guys are dudes at Gold's Gym. I don't care how you look in a shirt. I care how you look in pads.
I agree.
Okay?
Completely. I mean, that's more important.
I
agree. Like, did you see the tackle? Who is it? The offensive lineman. I'm blanking on his name. Shit, where did he come? Where was that guy? Will Campbell, is it?
Yeah, from LSU.
Yes. So this dude's one of the best tackles in college football. All right, for multiple years. He's ranked up on many people's boards, and then he goes to the combine, and he's got short arms. And now people are like, oh, this guy can't play tackle. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't matter because you can look at numbers and you can look at like, okay, what percentage of guys are successful in the league that don't have this metric? I think that's a fair way to look at it. But at the end of the day, the guy's got game tape as a great tackle. Now, maybe it knocks him a couple of spots, but the guy can't play football because of it. I mean, so that drives me crazy. But, you know, that's a big part of where we are in the world. You know, I'm reading this book. You'd hate this stupid book I'm reading. It's football. It's called Football is a Numbers Game. All right. And it's good because it gives you a lot of info about football, but it shows you how the league has changed to embrace all of these metrics. And even for people like you and even me to a lesser degree who don't like that stuff, it's inevitable and it's happening. You know, and for all the people who say, oh, fuck PFF, all 32 teams in the NFL use PFF. Every single one of them. In fact, the touchdown that Zach Ertz had in the Super Bowl 52, okay, where we beat the New England Patriots, that was a PFF freaking play call.
Huh.
And it was discovered in the week leading up to the Super Bowl when Doug Peterson got Mike Groh and got the whole offensive staff and said, I want you to scour and find me any plays you think can be an advantage before we get together our final play sheet. That play was discovered that the Patriots struggled with three receiver or two receivers and a tight end on one side. They ran the same formation, got Zach Ertz over the middle, and got a touchdown.
More analytics.
Right. I don't love it either. I'm just saying, even if you don't like it, it's a part of it. It's become a part of this sport. So how can you look at it and get a lot out of it? I don't know. But
last year you won the Super Bowl with anti-analytics. And I'll tell you why. The common sense would be because you had A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goedert and the pass and that offensive line would have been to throw the ball more. Instead, you went the opposite way off the analytics and created an analytics chart running the ball.
Right.
All the things that you built that team around, you basically trashed and built new analytics with a whole different mindset on how you built that team. Howie didn't build that team, dude, to run the ball 400 times. Yeah, he built that team to throw the ball, or at least with more balance. Do you not agree?
I 100% agree. And the funniest part about that response by you is it shows you which is more important, right? Because as much as I say analytics have become a part of this thing, listen to what Sills just said. So the Eagles just defied the analytics this year and ran their way to a Super Bowl. Well, why did they do that? Because the common sense was that the analytics drove teams so much so that their defenses have devalued stopping the run. The linebackers are small, the edge rushers are small, and everybody, based on analytics, wanted to stop the pass on defense.
So you're saying
the natural progression, though, right? Sills was like, all right, you put a bunch of small dudes out there, we're going to take our big dudes and run you over. That's anti-analytics.
Tell me I'm hearing you right. I think they changed that philosophy, and once they got into that philosophy of running the ball, they realized the mismatches because teams had gone away from that big linebacker and stopping the run so much. They created an analytics chart off the running that teams were not able, because how many times did we watch this past year, Xander? Nobody could stop that running game because you know why? Teams in the league had built with smaller linebackers who played in space. The Eagles didn't play in space. They played in a phone booth last year. They beat you inside the tackles, right? How many of those big runs were outside? They were up the gut.
Yeah, up the gut.
And the analytics told them, our mismatches are at the guard position on your linebackers.
Yeah. See, I think that to me is more football. That's not analytics.
That's smart.
Right. Give me the – Sills, you've been saying this for 5 years since you came on this network 5 Aprils ago. All right? Big dudes beat up little dudes. We had bigger dudes. We had bigger, better, more physical dudes. They said, let's run behind them. And then you got a great running back, obviously, in Saquon Barkley to top it off. I mean – the plan was good last year. I think now moving forward, it's going to be even more interesting because now that the Eagles have, like you said, they've charted now new analytics. And now teams will look at what the Eagles did and say, what are the analytics that we can take from this? And how does that, permeate across the rest of the NFL? It's going to be interesting to see because I think teams are going to stop going too undersized on all their defensive positions.
Let me put something here before I get to this last take, and then we got any supers, we'll do it before we get Godfather on with us. Let me ask you this here. How do you think their approach is going to be this year and how would you build an analytics chart with this? You have 5 positions that you have to replace on defense. You've got a lot of question marks over there. There's very little question marks except for potentially improving the passing game on the offensive side. What would be your approach this offseason on how you want to attack the NFL in that schedule next year? Would it be try to get more out of the tight end position? Because the tight end position is once again, look, Xander, in my opinion, that's where the improvement is because you really don't think you're going to get much more improvement at the 2 wide receiver positions, do you?
I don't agree.
How are you going to upgrade that?
I don't agree. I'll tell you
Those
why.
guys are going to get their numbers.
But they didn't get their numbers in terms of what you can get. Let me ask you a question, though. All right. A.J. Brown last year, I know he missed a couple of games. All right, I know he missed. He played 13 games. Same with Devontae. Both played 13 games. He had 1,079 yards. Do you believe that A.J. Brown is better than 1,079 yards?
And that offense, no. Not when a guy's running for $2,000.
Well, we just talked about how you might have to get more out of the passing game.
Okay. So
if you're getting more out of the passing game, I'm saying you might as well.
Very critical of taking away from the successful part of the team.
Yeah, but if you're going to have to, if you're going to have to improve the offense this year anyway, and like you just said, do you improve the tight end more? Fuck that. Go to the receivers more. Give me more creativity out of the receivers.
But the tight end position is a position that they're high percentage passes that throw into the numbers. Anything in a short passing game creates less opportunity at turnover than you do a 15-yard pass versus a 5-yard pass.
So you're saying the tight end's more of an extension of the running game and more fits what they're trying to do.
That's what made Brady a Super Bowl champ. Brady won Don't you listen? Andy Reid and Bill Belichick went with higher percentage plays. What were they? Screens, checkdowns, tight ends, not the big perimeter pass.
So you think 12 personnel? You think more 12 personnel observers?
Well, you don't have that ability yet until you find somebody in the building that can play that tight end.
Maybe one of these dudes we got at tight end is going to be a glorified blocker, and that's it. And then you have Grant Calcaterra to be your pass-catching tight end.
See, I think the Patriots and the Chiefs, they move the sticks with lower percentage turnover opportunity plays by throwing to tight ends. Dude, their numbers prove it. They got 9 Super Bowls between them by throwing only to tight ends. They didn't have wide receivers in any of those programs. And Andy Reid's time, even in Philly, he had okay wideouts. He had exceptional tight ends in Philly and another Hall of Famer in Kansas City. Belichick didn't have any kind of big-time wideouts he won Super Bowls with.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Especially, you're saying especially with this style of offense because it more fits that old school mold.
And it gives Hurts a lesser of an opportunity at turnovers by throwing 5-yard passes.
I don't want to legislate that too much because I think part of the reason that, Hurts became a little gun-shy throwing the ball is that he almost got a little bit too protective of that football. And it ultimately worked out. It was the perfect thing to do for this team because our running game is going so good. But if you're talking about an offense that's expanded next year, I don't want to get into a situation where we're telling Jalen, hey, don't take chances, don't throw the ball because we want to protect the ball so much. Ultimately, I don't think that gets you to the
You don't have the defense yet, in my opinion, for you could take chances on offense. You had it last year where you could take chances on offense, that defense. Not yet, at least until we see them play, right? The first month of the season.
That's fair.
And we didn't even know yet at the first month of the season last year.
I get what you're saying. Do you
agree? This is how the draft looks right now. This is how I see the draft when it comes to how I rank the position groups. I got edge 1. I got interior defensive tackle 2. I got tight ends 3. I got running backs 4. I got OTs 5. It's one of the worst groups of wideouts I've ever seen. It's 6.
The wideouts are brutal. I'm not in love with any of them.
I think there's only one going in the top 32 this year.
Really? Who do you got?
Golden, the kid from Arizona.
Ted Tower, McMullen or whatever it is, yeah.
Ted McMullen or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Cornerback 7 and interior O-lineman 8.
Yeah, low.
What?
O-line's low, but you're right. It's not a great O-line class.
Remember I told you because of COVID a couple of years ago, a lot of those kids use that 6th year. That's why you had a big group the last couple of years. So edge, interior D-line is 2nd, D tackles. I got tight ends 3rd. I got running backs 4th. It's a better class than I thought. I don't think there's a lot of first-round guys. I think there's probably one. And by the way, I heard that guy. He had the same take I did. That dude, Janiti guy, I mean, he's running against Northern Wichita State and places like that for 350 yards. He plays against Penn State. He gets destroyed.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just don't see big-time competition that guy. You know what he looks like? Donnell Pumphrey.
Yeah, you're right about that.
That kind of guy, when he was at San Diego State, you're playing against what? Utah State?
I was watching freaking Tyler Warren today, dude.
He's a great-looking prospect.
That kid can fucking play, man. That is my kind of tight end.
Would you ever trade up for him?
I would, but I don't think that they're in a position to spend those type of assets on the offensive side of the ball right now. I don't think they want to. I think he's that good of a player, and I would consider it if it was plausible, but he might go top 15, dude.
Yeah, he's going to go top 15.
I mean, we had Rick Saratello on this morning. He had 3 blue chips in the whole draft. 3 blue chips. And he said after 10, it's a drop-off.
Yes.
Drop-off between 10 and, from 10
Remember,
to 50.
I said 15 and down.
His was a little less. Yes. So, he had
I don't think it's a good draft. I don't think there's impact guys in the draft. I see.
Be there at 32. He won't even be there at 20, brother. He won't even be there at 20.
Get this. I saw 5 guys. What did he say? How many guys did he think he saw where he saw impact guys?
So his was a little different. He said like true blue chips, he had 3.
Okay.
And you're ready? He had Shadur Sanders above Cam Ward. He had Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, Tyler Warren, and for a QB, he likes Shadur Sanders the best. He thinks he's got the it factor, has everything you need, good pro-style quarterback. He thinks he's going to be perfect. They're going to be great in the NFL. I happen to agree with him. I've been trying to tell Johnny Mack I like Shedeur Sanders for 3 weeks now. And Johnny Mack is just like, he stinks. I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like him.
I don't believe he stinks. I just my problem with him is that everything has been carved out for him. You know, what did he make? His dad carved out the environment.
What is that, bro?
Okay, well, if you go to a shitty coach and a shitty program, and that guy is worried about his job and not you, and not caring about you and carving out hey, dude, it's one thing to have somebody completely make your path and help your path than versus going to a place when you go to the pros where that coach is. You think Brian Dable's going to care more about Brian Dable's job or Shedeur Sanders' job?
No, you're right about that. I know what you're saying about that, but I don't think that takes away from the talent of the player.
No.
I get what you're saying.
I think that helps having the environment. You don't think I think Jalen Hurts going to the Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I think Jalen Hurts going to the Philadelphia Eagles versus going to the New York Jets is a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. But I think Shedeur has enough. I really think that, I don't know, I'm one of the guys that thinks that the it factor, which is some of the intangible stuff, matters more than draft nicks and scout and tape watchers and, you know, PFF guys and analytics. I'm infatuated by the it factor, by a guy who's unwavering, unflappable, who has confidence in himself, who can handle critics, all right, who hears critics all day and it doesn't get to him. It doesn't bother them. When I see Shedeur Sanders, I see that his father in him with that. And I think he's going to be built to handle a big market in the NFL. And I don't know, man, you get a couple of things going in the right direction. I think that's the kind of guy that could change the culture of a locker room. I really do. Maybe I'm wrong. Look, if he sucks, I'll eat my crow on it. But I think the guy has a chance to be really freaking good.
One thing is definitely evident now between Deion and Shedeur. They got a piece of humble pie, and I'll tell you why. A year ago, they were talking about they were going to go to select teams and we're going to pick our place. Well, reality is now NFL scouts have given them the reality check. That's not the case here, guy.
That was always dumb because the NFL is, I mean, come on, let's be real here. It's the owners league. You're not breaching. I don't care who you are. You're not breaching the hundreds of billions of dollars shield that it's worth. You're not breaching it.
Bro, if they can live without Tom Brady and ratings go up, they can live without you. That's who they are. I mean, that league's not built like the NBA is on Michael Jordan. That league's built on the shield, and they move on from that. If we have any supers before our Philly Godfather comes in, let's read them. If not, all good, man. We appreciate you guys. Do me a favor. Please hit that like button. Thank you guys so much for coming aboard. You guys have been absolutely awesome this week. We've had a great lineup of guests this week, too, so we appreciate you guys hanging around for them.
Blaine says RO line was offensive linebackers. Yes, they were. Brian Pumper says he paints his fingernails, Xander. I'm not buying it. Sorry, no can do, sir. Well, I'm not painting my fucking fingernails, Brian, but I could give a shit what he can do. Go out and play football and be a great. I don't give a damn.
Pump.
I mean, I ain't painting my nails.
Hey, Pump, you're looking at exterior things, man. If you're trying to tell, that's like telling me you don't want Dennis Rodman playing the pivot for you. And he's the greatest under 7-foot rebounder in the history of the NBA and has 5 NBA championships, 3 defensive player of the years, and he wears a dress. I don't care. I'll buy a dress for him.
Man, I don't care either.
I don't care about shit like that, man. I mean, go win me a game, Xander. You know what I'm saying? You want to do that stuff. You want to do all that bullshit. That's fine with me. I don't care.
Yeah. So Brian says, Xander, there was only one starting offensive tackle in the league with sub 32-inch arms. Alaric Jackson for the Rams. Good night. Well, that, you know what, Brian, that's actually good context because that puts a little bit more merit on something like that. But again, I still don't like it. I mean, that dude could play, man. That tackle, that guy can play. So I have a hard time believing he's not going to be successful because his arms are short. But it does give you problems. Like if you got to go up against a guy like Josh Sweat in the NFL, you know, or those long edge rushers. He's talking about the Will Campbell, the tackle.
Will Campbell.
Yeah,
play him at guard then.
Yeah.
Put him at guard. If he's got short arms, put him at guard. I do think that's a problem. If you got to go against dude, when you got some of these guys, these edge rushers, one of the things that Myles Garrett, man, he's got some insane arm reach. Reggie had an insane arm. I think that's the deal. I think tackles have to have long arms. I think if you're a short arm guy, I think that gives me a better chance to get on you a little more. So again, to me, I mean, play him inside, put him at guard, man, if his arms are too short. I don't have – if you're good, I'll find – how about this, Xander? If you're good, I'll find a spot for you.
Yeah, agreed. Master Chief, a few holes defense. I'm in the lab. I got to come up with some new nicknames that we can dub for the year. It's still early. We're still in March. Let's get after the draft. Let's go June, July. We'll start dubbing some nicknames for this team.
Is Bama winning the national title?
Bro. Fucking Mark Sears. Holy shit. Now my boy Mark Sears can shoot the rock, baby.
Dude.
And Holloway, they were all cooking last night, dude. Alabama was on fire last night in that game.
Could it be Alabama-Auburn in the finals?
It could be. It could be. I tell you what, did Houston play? Are they tonight? They're in tonight, right?
Right.
I like that team too, man. That Houston team can play. I like that Houston team.
Me too.
I was upset Calipari got bounced last night.
Me too.
Yeah.
Biggest comeback in a long time, dog. I couldn't believe it.
That Bama game was a good basketball game, man. That was a great freaking basketball game.
Bama. That's what you got this weekend. Duke Bama.
Duke Bama is going to be – that's going to be a tough one, man. I don't know. I mean, that Cooper Flag kid, man, that – if the Sixers get him, that kid is fucking game changer, man. Game changer. He dropped 30 last night.
Look at the
– like 18.
Look at the football programs that are in Ole Miss, Michigan State, Auburn, Michigan, Bama.
It's crazy. What is happening to college basketball?
That looks like the playoffs for the football playoffs.
Even like Arkansas in there. It's funny, man. Crazy.
Absolutely. Great stuff, Xander.
Well, one more here. Pumper ripping me again. Get off the fence, Xander. Pick the winning side. I think he's talking about LeBron. Yo, Pump. Fuck off, Pump. Jesus Christ.
I don't know why it sounds funny when I'm not doing it, but when I'm doing it, I'm ripping away Xander when he does it, man. I love it.
Sills used to tell me off the air. He used to say, when I first started doing shows, he used to say, "When are you going to be the guy on the air that you are off the air?" And he's like, "I want that guy on the air." And I'm like, "I'll get there, Sills. I'll get there, Sills." Well, here we are. Now I'm ripping fucking people left.
Now you're being you. That's where you are right now. Except when the only thing I mean, hey, listen, do you know how much I laugh when I hear your boy? That's bullshit. Nobody does that way. And I'm like, okay, John.
Who? Nobody does what way?
Nobody thinks that way when it comes to the draft. I'm like, John, yes, they do, man. They think that way. When people are looking at drafting a certain guy, you have to draft inside your division first. You're not looking – the Eagles aren't drafting to beat the Lions. They're drafting to beat the Commanders and the Giants and the Cowboys. That's why they're so far ahead. You know why? Because they play them twice a year. As long as you stay –
you broke everything you're about with your Commanders predictions. I'm upset with you.
Oh, the Commanders
he's been good 1 year in the last.
Picked them.
One year in the last 20 years, they've been okay. And so we go to the damn Super Bowl.
I wasn't that far off.
You guys are a champion organization.
I wasn't that far off. They made the NFC title game.
I don't give a shit. They're falling back to earth this year.
Oh, they're falling back to earth, but not the Swiss cheese.
Davon Kinlaw's a trash can. Laramie Tunsil might get hurt.
Not the Swiss cheese defense. Oh,
what are they going to do with Deebo Samuel? He stinks.
What are you going to do with Ringo Starr, Keely Ringo? What are you going to do with him?
I'm not worried about Keely Ringo.
Oh, you're not playing corner? Okay.
Well, we got a bunch of other dudes on that defense that are damn good. What about Quinion? What about Cooper? What about Jalen Carter? What about Nolan Smith? What about Zach Bond? What about Reed Blankenship? I mean, shut up, Sills.
Blankenship? All of a sudden now he's Brian Dawkins. Holy shit.
So what is it? All pro at every position or bust?
No. How about just being
then shut the fuck up.
How about just being decent?
What do you mean? They are decent.
Okay, they're decent. You were exceptional last year.
We got a lot of guys who are still exceptional. I just named about 6 of them.
Nolan Smith is exceptional?
Jalen Carter is. Zach Bond is.
Yeah.
Quinyon Mitchell was.
I'm going to tell
Cooper
you.
DeJean was.
Cooper DeJean was, man. I love that kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, and I think that guy could score 28
Who's
right now.
winning the Super Bowl in the early Big Sills March 28 thoughts?
Huh.
The Philadelphia Eagles, right?
No.
You sound like John McMullen. Well, if you're an odds guy, there's a 15% chance because only 9 teams have repeated, and the Eagles will not repeat for that reason. I don't give a shit.
Hold on. Buffalo versus
the Eagles. They're by and far the best team in the NFC.
The Rams.
Stop. I like them, but they're not winning.
Buffalo Rams.
You don't have to stick to that. I just made you.
I'm not. I've been fighting right. That
yeah, I just made you do it on the fly. And
the Rams.
You change that. You reserve the
I would say, yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna probably definitely. I want to see what they do. I'll make that prediction in September.
Yeah, Jay Brown is a certified hater, but I'll tell you what, he's right about this. Sileo can't let his Bills go. He can't let his Bills go. He just wants Joshy Poo to win it so bad.
I want the best quarterback in the NFL to win the Super Bowl.
I like him, but why can't he do it? You got to get the job done, Sills.
Hey, good stuff this week, dude. Keep it up, man. You guys are killing it over there on Birds 365, man. Great stuff, Big Z. Thank you, bro.
All right, man. Thank you, Sills.
You got it, man. That's my friend, Xander Krause. All right. Damn. Man, I'll tell you what. I'm going to start calling the Philly Godfather the Philly Cash Register. That's what I'm going to start calling his ass. I'm going to start calling him the Cash Register. But then again, I got to tell you, man, the NCAA tournament is wild. And I don't know what Nil has done to it. I can't wait. Could it be Alabama Auburn in the national championship game? An Iron Bowl playing for the national title. Who would have thunk that here? All right. Without further ado, we will throw, by the way, a couple football ones at him and some baseball at our friend, the legendary Philly Godfather. He joins us right now here on the program. Big Sir. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, Dan? How you been, man?
Is the NCAA tournament the toughest tournament to make picks with? Because, again, where you're seated, referees, different style of play. You know, I've had in the past, I had Rick Pitino tell me this about the NCAA tournament. You could get put in a region where you have ACC referees and you're a Big East team and they're not used to that physicality of a type of team. So they're not going to ref that team like they would normally throughout the regular season. So you get so many different dynamics. Are those different dynamics? Does that make it tough to really put a gauge on this tournament and how you look at teams if you're going to be a better?
Well, you got to handicap the tournament a lot different than you handicap the regular season. March Madness, there's a weird phenomenon that happens during March Madness. The team that wins the game covers the spread 88% of the time. So if you're looking to bet an underdog, you better hope they can win the game outright, or else they won't cover the spread. And if you notice this year again, the favorites, they're covering. When the dogs win the game outright, they cover, or they don't cover the spread at all. I think it's right around 86 or 87% this season. So you really got to handicap March Madness a little differently than you handicap the regular season. And if you don't think that dog has a shot of winning the game, don't even put your money on him. Don't invest in him at all.
Absolutely, man. I think this tournament here, before we get into it, I'll get into the tournament here a little bit more here, but let me start with some football here. Do you do any kind of betting on who you think the first pick in the NFL draft is going to be? Do you any kind of prop bets like that on who you guys are looking at, who could be like the first player taken this coming April? If it is going to be Tennessee, is there going to be some potential moving, like the Tennessee trade the pick? You guys put any prop bets out on that?
I mean, the only time we usually bet them is if we have information. Like the one year we had Joey Bosa going under the fifth player chosen in the draft, and we got like 5-1 on our money. But if we don't get information, there's really no way to handicap that. I mean, how do you're just guessing, you're just throwing darts, unless you got someone in an organization, unless you know somebody. Has that kid from Miami not go number one, the quarterback? I mean, seriously, and then whatever they do with them, they do with them. But and then the kid from Penn State, what's his name, Abdul
Carter.
Yeah, he's probably the second one drafted, and then Travis
Hunter.
Maybe number 3, maybe number 2, depending on Carter's how he comes back. Is he 100% healthy or not? But unless you have information, unless you know some people, it's hard to make money with the draft. Let's be honest.
Okay, down at 32, I won't ask you for a player. Where do you think they go down there? Edge, defensive tackle, tight end, offensive tackle? I mean, you get this too. There's like 8 job openings that they're going to have to fill because of all that turnover that they have this year on the team. I mean, I'm not saying they don't have the talent or the coaching to replace these guys because they did a lot of that this past season. But, that's clearly not the same championship team that they had a couple of years ago. I mean, what do you think? I mean, how are you looking at it at 32 right now, what the Eagles will do?
Well, the Eagles are the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl. So the nucleus of the team is still stronger than anyone else in the NFL, according to the bookmakers, according to Vegas. They're probably going to lose a bunch of defensive guys. So I would probably go defense, anywhere on the defensive line. But again, it depends on how he's cooking up, what he's brainstorming, what kind of moves he's making. Every time you think he's going to zig, he starts zagging. Every time he's and he's been, to give him credit, he's had a lot of hits and he's had some misses. But again, probably defense. I'll probably draft someone on the defensive side of the ball.
All right, let me get some of these games here. This could be pretty interesting here to see what goes down and shakes out here, especially tonight and tomorrow as you get into the Final Four. We're now getting ready to go into the Elite 8 here. Duke, Alabama. What do you like there?
All of a sudden, everyone's falling in love with Alabama, and you can't blame them how they looked against BYU. But what people don't know is BYU was ranked 250th in the nation in opponent three-point defense. So, they look great shooting all those threes, but now they get to play a Duke team that is probably one of the best covering the perimeter, and they're not going to look like that against Duke. I mean, the line opened 6. It's up to 6.5. There's a couple 6 out there. I see it as high as 7. I mean, that kid Cooper Flag. I like Duke here. I like Duke -6. I think they're a different kind of animal. Defensively, they're better than BYU and all the teams Alabama's faced all season. I just like Duke here. They can cover the perimeter. And anytime you see a team score that many points the following week, they come back down to earth, and they're coming back down to earth against the wrong team. So I like Duke here -6.
And that Flag kid and that Duke team looks as good as anybody that we've seen in the last couple of years. I mean, boy, they're doing a great job there. Let me take you over to the South bracket here. Auburn, Michigan. Boy, I'll tell you, Bruce Pearl has built that program into just a juggernaut down there. I mean, it's not a shocker. He was at Tennessee and what he did there, but Michigan versus Auburn, that's going to be a game I believe played later on today or just getting ready to start. What do you think about that game?
It's a big number. I see the line anywhere from 8.5 to 9, 9.5. And, I mean, Michigan's been playing some great basketball down the stretch. They beat Purdue, Maryland, Wisconsin right before the tournament. And then they beat a stingy UC San Diego team in the final seconds. They upset an Aggies team that the bookmakers had favored over them. So they've been playing some really good basketball. Auburn, on the other hand, they underperformed against Alabama State. They were 32-point favorites. They won by 20, still won by a ton. Then they outperformed the market as 9-point favorites over Creighton. They won, I think, by 12 or 13 in that game. What I don't like about Michigan is the style of play. They're running at a fast pace. They aren't the best foul shooting team. On average, they turn the ball over too much. So even though I got Michigan ranked slightly higher than Creighton, it's the style I don't like. And styles make fights, and styles make matchups in March Madness. And I think Auburn might be a little too much for Michigan because of the style of basketball Michigan plays. I think you win some. I think you can come, make some money if you lay Auburn -8, 8.5, or even 9. I think Auburn's the right side because of the style of Michigan basketball.
Ole Miss, Michigan State. I don't know anything about Ole Miss. I heard that they're a team that came on late in the Southeastern Conference. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're a 5 or 6 seed. And Michigan State, Tom Izzo, like you said before last week, one of the best coaches, if not one of the top 3 coaches in the country. Michigan State, Ole Miss, what do you like in this one?
Yeah, I had 3 futures before the tournament started. I had St. John 60-1, which lost. I got Michigan 45-1. I got Florida 19-1. And I love Izzo. I mean, who doesn't love Izzo? Arguably, one of the best coaches in college basketball. But the refs, they really bailed him out against New Mexico as 7.5-point favorites. I mean, the Spartans shot 28 foul shots compared to the Lobos 10. And a lot of those, fouls look like phantom fouls to me, but it is what it is. New Mexico shot better from the field, from the three-point line, had more points in the paint. This time around, I don't think Izzo's team can depend on the refs because this Ole Miss team, I mean, these Rebels are a different kind of animal. They just smoked Iowa State, a team that I had power ranked as the 5th best team in the nation by 13 points. They shot 58%, I think, from the floor, almost 60% from the three-point line. If Michigan State, they've started off slow in a lot of these games.
Yeah.
If they start off slow against Mississippi, they could be in trouble. Only because of Izzo, I think they find a way to win. But I like Mississippi +4. Give me Mississippi +4 points. I think they can hang around, especially if Michigan State starts off slow like they usually do.
Do you like the tournament? I love it. I do. I love the NCAA. I mean, I like the NCAA tournament more than I do bowl season for college football. I mean, outside of the playoff teams, I mean, I don't really think that was interesting until you got down to the final 4 teams that went into the college playoff. But I mean, there's something about it, man. The NCAA tournament, I think it's the second best event in American sports.
Yeah, and it lasts for so long. I mean, even out in Vegas, even for the Super Bowl, the hotels weren't sold out in Vegas. You can't get a room out in Vegas right now. March Madness is the biggest thing in Vegas this year. We used to always go out to the Westgate or the Stardust back in the day. But yeah, I mean, we haven't had as many buzzer beaters as we've had in the past. This year, a lot of chalk has been covering the spread easily and winning the games. And a lot of blowouts this year, but it's still probably, other than the Super Bowl, it's the best time you can have betting on sports.
Let me take you down here to Houston and Purdue down in the Midwest here. Boy, I'll tell you, man, Purdue's a big team, and Houston is a very athletic team. I mean, Houston's got to be one of the most talented teams in the country. But I'll tell you what, that Purdue team, I wouldn't go to sleep on them. They're pretty big down in the post down in there. Who do you like in this one here?
Yeah, before the tournament started, I bet some Cougar tickets -145 to make the final, to make the Elite Eight. So, they're the better team. If they bring their A game, Houston, they can beat anyone in the country, including Duke. It's because of that insane defense they have, man. They're probably the best defensive team in the nation, and they just suffocate teams. Purdue's looked pretty good against High Point. Who else? They played McNeese State, but now they're playing the big boy with the best defense in the nation. This one's tough because the numbers right there. Both teams, they like to run at a slow pace. Both teams are pretty good three-point shooting teams. Both teams defend the three-point line very well. As long as Purdue can hit their foul shots, I think they can cover that number. I don't see them winning this game, but 8.5, 9, I think Purdue can stay within the Vegas number in a very slow-paced, low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Purdue +9, I think it covers the spread.
I went to grab something to eat, and Arkansas was up by like 13 points. I go back, and all of a sudden, there's an OT buzzer beater there, and Texas Tech ends up coming back, and I was crushed for Calipari, who had really made a nice run, especially after beating the St. John's in the previous round. They end up getting upset by Texas Tech. And now they play this Gator team. I mean, the Gators win the Southeastern Conference. I believe they beat Tennessee in that SEC title game. What do you see here with Florida, Texas Tech, maybe a little bit? They had that big comeback against Arkansas. Do you like the Gators in this one here?
Yeah, I like Florida, man. I laid the number. You saw what happened to Maryland off that big emotional win. There's only one place to go after such a high like that. It's down. It's not up. I just think Florida's a different kind of animal. Tech is a great team. Florida's just too deep, too strong. They can throw so many different bodies at you. I think Florida covers the number. I mean, it's been a nice run by Tech, but I think it ends here. I think Florida covers the spread and wins the game easily.
I would tell people, if you want to see a great track meet, wait till the Olympic Games when you can see the greatest 4x100 team. Either it's going to be Team Jamaica or it's going to be Team USA. But I also could tell you it could be Kentucky, Tennessee in this thing here, because you're going to see athletes running up and down the basketball court in this game here. This may be a must-watch television game here, because you got a lot of great basketball players in this game, and you got exceptional athletes in this game. I think this thing's going to be maybe the marquee game of the tournament so far. How do you see Kentucky, Tennessee?
Yeah, Tennessee's anywhere from a 4 to 4.5 point favorite. Overall, I think Tennessee's the better team. Kentucky's just 9-10 against top 50 competition this year, while the Volunteers went 13-6. Both teams cover the 3-point line very well. Kentucky's probably the better shooting team, at the 3-point line behind the arc. Tennessee plays at a really slow pace, while Kentucky likes to run really fast. You got great athletes on both sides, like you just said. Tennessee has the much better defense. But Kentucky is the better rebounding team. It's tough picking a side here because, like I said, 88% of the time the team that wins the game covers the spread. And usually I look to take the dog here, but not during March Madness. What I do like is the under 145. I mean, both squads are not the best foul shooters. Good defensive teams. They cover the 3-point line really well. I think it goes under 145. Gun to my head, experienced Tennessee, younger kids in Kentucky. If I had to pick a side, I'd probably lay 4 on Tennessee, but I like the under 145 better.
All right, I'm going to do a couple baseball prop bets with you here. Yeah. Bryce Harper leads the National League in home runs. What would be – he'll hit 45 home runs over under.
Well, that's a lot of home runs.
He hit 46 one year.
Yeah. I'd say under 45.
Under 45?
He's been getting banged up a little bit over the last couple of years, missing some games. If he's perfectly healthy, I guess I would say under.
Phillies, over under 95 wins.
Huh. They almost lost to the Nationals.
Struck out how many times? What is it, 13 Ks they had in that game?
That was
I'm watching that thing. I'm like, I mean, the walk of shame was prevalent in that ball game against the Nationals. I'll tell you that. 13 Ks.
Yeah. 95. I would say under, man. They're plus 200 to win the division. The Mets are right behind them at plus 250. The Braves, I think, are like even money or plus like 05 or plus 10 cents to win the division. I would say under. That division is going to be a little tighter than most people think.
Over under, Shohei Ohtani hits over 45 home runs.
That dude's capable of doing anything.
Did he hit a homer in the opener too?
That dude.
I think he did.
Every time I say, okay, what else is he going to do to impress me? He keeps impressing me. Like, he's so – is he the greatest base? Like, when he pitches, like –
108.
What was that, Dan?
108. 100 miles, 104 miles an hour. He steals 50 bases. He hits 50 homers. I mean, Roy Hobbs, that movie, The Natural? Yeah, I don't know, man. That movie was made in – I know it was supposed to be Ted Williams. I've never seen anything like this guy. Every time he steps up to the plate, I thought Bonds was the greatest baseball player I ever saw. I've never seen a guy win 8 Gold Gloves. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a better ball player than Shohei Ohtani.
Well, this is the difference. The best hitter in baseball is worth at the most 7, maybe 8 wins to the regular season win total.
Yeah.
So Shohei Ohtani is probably the best hitter in baseball. And then if he pitches and grabs you another 10, 12, 15 wins, that guy's $1 billion player. Like you said, 45 home runs. I guess I would say over. I don't know. And usually I'd say under, but that dude is just something different.
Over under 97 wins, Dodgers.
Huh. You got what, 3 already?
Yes, yeah.
You might go 162-0.
Hey, I don't know, man. That's a great looking ball team.
How do you beat that? All that pitching they got?
You know what that team reminds me of? Remember the Big Red Machine?
Yeah.
That's the Big Red Machine with pitching.
They're so good. I don't know. 97 seems kind of cheap. They're going to win 100 games. I mean,
Yeah, I agree. They're gonna. I'm gonna give you one last stat before you leave here. You know, as great as I say what Shohei Ohtani is, here's one of the greatest baseball stats of all time. Do you know that if you took every home run away from Hank Aaron, he'd still hit 3,000 hits?
wow. He was so consistent. He was like, he never hit 60 or.
No, he never hit 50.
What do you have? 48 the most one year?
Most ever was 47, I think 47 one year.
But he was so consistent. Like he was at that level each and every year. And other guys, for a 1 year period had much better seasons, but over a long career, I mean, how can you argue with, what he did? It's amazing.
Get that. Think of that. You took all 700 plus home runs away from him. He would still hit 3,000 hits.
Well, you know what else? That's when there were less teams in the league.
Yeah.
The pitching was better at that time. I'm not saying the pitchers today aren't better, but if you had
the teams were more condensed, you had better pitching on teams.
Exactly. So if you had to devise a formula, like the pitching was, harder to hit, it was just a different era. They used to go at your head. I mean, they used to almost kill you. They used to throw the ball 100 miles an hour at your head. They used to back you off the plate. You can't do that today. You know what I mean? So it's a different time. Yeah.
My friend, tell the folks where they can find you.
Find me on X at Philly Godfather. The website's thephillygodfather.com. And every Friday, 5:30 p.m. on the best show in the world, the Dan Sileo Show.
Thank you very much, my friend. We look forward to seeing you next week when we're talking about Final Four stuff. I can't wait to do that, man. I appreciate you, my friend.
Good luck, guys.
All right. That's our good friend, the Philly Godfather. Make sure you check him out here. I just got something from Cube. I just got something from Ice Cube here. You ready for this and the big three? How about this one, Xander? Sills, we hope you're doing well. We enjoyed working together with you last year on Big Three and would love to collaborate. As the new season kicks off June 14th, we'd appreciate your support in posting and putting up live streams of our events. Would that be something that we can do and collaborate with you and your show? Please let us know if you have interest. We'd be open to the content of our show and to the content of Big Three being part of you and your network. I don't know what it is. Why does everybody all of a sudden want to be part of the Big Sill Show? How you doing? How's that there, Xander? Ice Cube and Big Three want to be part of the program. Must have been Stevie. Hey, don't forget our great friends at Morgan & Morgan. Hey, that's all because of you guys too, man. Making the show bigger, man. Each and every single day. Now you got Big Three wanting to be part of it. How cool is that, man? We appreciate those guys doing that. Yeah, they want us to carry their stream as well for their content. I mean, I know that it's on Fox and CBS. I don't know. Make sure you check out my great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in the country with more than $20 billion in recovery for clients across the country. Make sure you check out our great friends. If you're ever injured, this is the #1 injury law firm in America with thousands of attorneys from coast to coast, making sure you and your family are covered and making sure you get the proper recovery that insurance companies don't want to give. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/Big Sills or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sills sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Your financial future is on the line. Are you ready for what's next? At Leone & Company Wealth Management, we help young professionals, business owners, and pre-retirees navigate the complexities of building and protecting wealth. For young professionals, we'll help you grow your wealth, plan for your future, and make the most of your hard-earned dollars. For business owners, we provide strategies to protect your company, manage risks, and create a lasting legacy for both your business and personal wealth. For pre-retirees, we'll design a plan to secure your retirement, ensuring you can live comfortably and confidently in your next chapter. Whether you're just starting out, managing a thriving business, or preparing for retirement, we're here to help you take control of your financial future. The first consultation is on us. Get the advice you need without the cost. Let's make your financial vision a reality. Take the next step. Scan the QR code to schedule your free consultation today. And of course, go Birds.
They're carving them up and good play calling along the way. First and goal at the 6.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
EAGLEX. Eagles.
It's pretty cool. I'm going to post this here in a second once the show's over. This is testament to you guys. Hey, Dan, we'd love to have you part of Big 3 this year with you and your show. We'd love to collaborate. As the new season kicks off, or they should say tip-off, on June 14th, we'd appreciate your support in having live streams and doing events during our live stream and actually participating during our live streams. So I would be on with Ice Cube during Big 3. And I would probably want to have it done so that we could have it also streamed with us. Right, Xander? Please let us know if you have interest. So if I'm going to stream during Big 3 games, I would make sure that I would want it so that JAKIB could benefit from that. It's on national television, and I would be on with Ice Cube, they said. So Cube and I would be watching a game. If he can't make it courtside, me and him would be on a stream doing Big 3. Would you be up for it? Okay. I'd be working with Ice Cube. Want to talk after the program here. Hey, John Morgan wants to do things more with the show. Now Ice Cube wants to do shit with the show. How you doing? I think things are going pretty good here. Yes. Real quick, I got some insight here. Dallas Goddard, Chargers, Rams, the Chicago Bears, and the New England Patriots have reached out to the Eagles and seeing what the trade would be when it comes to a trade package. I would think that if you're the Eagles, you do not want to send them to Chicago or the Rams. You want to get them out of the division. Okay? Sills, were you ever a paper boy? I'm trying to think. I did a lot of gigs when I was a kid to make, you know what I did, Samuel? I cut lawns. I cut lawns with my friends. We did that. We cut lawns when I was a kid. Real young. When I was real young, I did longs. Yeah, I did sills on a bicycle. Nice job, senor. How about you on a treadmill? Doubtful. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, I don't know what you're talking about, kid. I don't. Also, here's the changes that you guys have made so far. Kevin Patullo, OC. What's this guy's name? Paris Frazier, your passing coordinator. Scott Loford, your quarterback coach. Greg Austin, your assistant O-line coach. Montgomery Van Gordy, your offensive quality control guy. These are all changes that you've made on your coaching staff, especially on your offensive side. And you've got all those. This is going to be a great year. I can't wait to see how this thing plays out. 26 days away from the NFL draft. Okay? Zamunda. Well, yeah, that's Uchi Coochie, the guy from New England. Congratulations, Sills. We love this show. You deserve all the accolades with Ice Cube. Hey, dude, Blaine, I'm going to tell you one more time. The show is because you guys have made it happen. If you guys aren't here, this doesn't happen. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I'm going to post this, that they want me to do work with them with Big Three, and they'd like to talk to me about collaborating with Ice Cube. And June 14th, they want me to do some work, and I would do it, obviously. And they're talking compensation and everything here. So again, like I said to you guys before, I'm not going to be doing things that's going to take away from my show, me doing other things. I want people to invest in the show, because I think if you make yourself thin like that and you overexpose yourself, you start to look like Jason Kelsey. And that's not something I believe in. I don't believe in that. I think that you make the show and you grow the show, Why everybody's on the Eagles bandwagon now, like ain't know what the teams are building. Look, Emilio, they got a lot of work to do. That's all. Okay. At least Sills grew up in a world where kids played outside. Hey, that's a fact. My daughter doesn't. But thank you, Blaine. I think that's pretty cool. It is. It's good stuff, man. That's really cool from Big Three. I'm really glad that. And I gotta thank my dog too, Stevie. Maybe it was Stevie that was making it happen. All right. So if I'm picking one player right now for the Eagles to draft at 32, Xander, you're going to love this, because Xander's been talking about him. I'm saying James Pierce from Tennessee. I've liked this guy for 3 years. I'm taking James Pierce at 32 for the Philadelphia Eagles. If they don't move anywhere, I'm going to take James Pierce at number 32 to be the edge rusher. You would have Pierce, Smith, Carter, Davis, and Moro Ajomo as your front, and you would have Bond and Dean as your linebackers. that would be your front seven. I'm going to land right now on March 28th on James Pierce. I'll do Pierce as the player taken. All right. We're going to be getting closer and closer to the NFL draft. Have a great NCAA weekend. By the way, I want to wish my friend The Rock today, too. UFL starts, I believe, with St. Louis and Houston. A lot of sports going on. Major League Baseball as well. Have a blessed weekend. We appreciate it during this holy time. Thank you guys a lot. I can't thank you enough. We had a huge week of guests. Please make sure you go back and check it out. Hit that like button. Xander, Big Joe, thank you. 2 to 6 on Monday, and we shall see you on the flip side.